like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees are Roger Goodell. Yeah, running like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right, shout out to the mighty Who That Nation, man. We in this thing. Great Saint Think Tank. Appreciate y'all being in this live. Good morning to the fam. Appreciate you. Or grand rising to the fam. Much love to the fam. Appreciate you in this thing. And like I've been saying for some time now, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. What's popping? Shout out to you guys. On this Saturday morning, man, we up in this thing talking Saturday Saints talk. This is quite the thing we like to do, have fun. And it's also called Coffee with Q. So you can drink your tea, your coffee, whatever you want to do with it. We up in this thing. We're going to be talking some Saints. And of course, the biggest thing that a lot of the family members want to talk about is the fact that the Saints will be opening up the game with Derek Carr at the helm. And a lot of people were asking me this, earlier on in the week about, man, do you think? I said it was not hard to tell. If you look at the injury report through the week, he was practicing the whole week. According to the injury report, he never not stopped practicing, right? He was limited all the way up until it was time for him to get involved in the contest. And we knew he was dealing with several different issues. He was dealing with he was limited, dealing with the concussion, the rib, right shoulder, limited. And he fully practiced on Friday, which means that he will play in this game. Several reporters, including shout out to Nick Underhill, did drop the scoop about that. He also mentioned about Rashid Shaheed having some issues, that the quad injury is more serious but then initially believed that he will not play this week. according to the sources of him talking to the people in the building. Initially thought to be a contusion, the second opinion showed it was more serious. That's why second opinions are very important. Sometimes doctors and tech is not foolproof or, without error. So prayers to our guy Rashid Shaheed, that he gets through this thing. So shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all in it. We're going to do this stream, fam. We're going to go through the injury report. We're going to go through the report with Derek Carr. We're also going to go over some medical stuff. This is when when I bring out the medical stuff and kind of give the family members a more descriptive or more of a deep look into what's going on with this quarterback and why he should not be playing. This is totally irresponsible behavior by a desperate head coach and general manager for them to allow this man to play. This is totally not safe for him. And often during this year, I've been really upset watching these games and watching these players who are obviously hurt being put back into contests where they're in danger. The tight end Hawkinson, which won to mind, if you guys remember back several weeks ago in the Minnesota Vikings game when we were going up against them, and Hawkinson, obviously he was tackled and his head hit the turf. He got up and you could see he was concussed. Several plays later, he was back out on the field. Actually, the next play, he was out there. It wasn't the fact that he was tearing the Saints up, but it was the fact that they're supposed to put player health above everything. And this is totally not what's going on with the Saints. This is totally just evil, what they're doing. And that's the term I choose to use. This is very bad for him. Carr doesn't know any better. That's how athletes are. We want to play. We want to be out on the field. We don't care whatever it is. It's a gladiator mentality that's been cultivated so that when we give you the money, you play through things that you shouldn't play through. This is one of the things this Carr should not be playing through. We got a capable backup that would move the offense in a better, it kind of has more of a grasp on the Saints offense and the personnel than Derek Carr does. And this is totally dangerous for Carr to be out there and they saying it's good to go. This is ridiculous. Anyway, I'm going to give a shout out to all the people in the building, man. Big ups to all y'all, man. Good to see y'all. Appreciate y'all being here this Saturday morning. Shout out to Barbara. Good to see you, Queen. What's up, E? Shout out to your brother, All World Trucker, OG Jerry, representing. What's up, OG? Infamous is in this thing. L Dub, shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you. Mr. Fire D is in this thing. T Mama, what's up? What's popping, Queen? Good to see you. Prayers to you. Hope you're doing well with everything with the family. Brother Devin is in this thing as well. Good to see you, fam. Molly Mall, much love. Tough Tiger Productions, much love. RC, how you doing, sir? Appreciate you being up in this. Chantel, how you doing, Queen? Appreciate you as well. Big Boy, what's popping? All right. Rich, how you doing, sir? Ricky, I see you, man. Much love. Jody, shout out to you as well. Good to see all y'all in the building, man. KK, what's popping, Queen? Good to see you. Yoshi, man. Appreciate you for being a member for 8 months.
I want to say thank you very much for picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
What's up, Frederick? How you doing, sir? Appreciate you as well. Much love. Young Bloods, how you doing, sir? Big ups to everybody, man. Much love, and hope you guys are having a good morning come up in this thing, man. But like I said, man, this is not a good thing for them to be doing with Carr. It's totally ridiculous and stupid. All right, thank you, Brent. Shout out to Brent, man, with the Cash App. He says, hold on here. Good morning. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, Brent.
I want to say thank you very much for picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
All right, shout out to the rest of the fam. Scrabble. And if I was to update Andre 3000's music food this year, to be flutes and sound. Man said he got 30 something of them flutes. He said, I don't know what instrument, the guy's just talented, man. And he fell in love with his flute. Nothing wrong with that, man. Play that goddamn flute, brother. Play the flute. All right. So anyway, if you want to listen to Andre 3000, man, go back and listen to his old stuff, man. Play the hell out that flute. All right, big ups. Scrabbled, how you doing, fam? King Chosen One, big ups to you, my man. All right. Yeah, no flutes. You'd be playing the flutes. You had to don't be got no damn flutes. All right. All right, so shout out to y'all, man. Much love to y'all. Let's get back into this, man. This is the injury report we got on screen right now for the last injury report for this past Friday that came out. And of course, you can see 14 for week 14, the Saints have 14. So how about that? Week 14 injury report, Saints have 14 players on it. So that's a good there you go, your number. I said New Orleans Saints, Isaiah Foskey, he is out of the game, and he was in last week, not this week, that he'll be shut down with the quadricep. Taysom Hill banged up, left foot, left hand, all kind of stuff going on with Taysom. He's brutal, runs very hard every game as a basically a running back, not much of a quarterback, but he is a physical dude, man, and he's been initially taking the contact. He's running directly up the center of the offensive line. He's getting into it with the defensive linemen and the linebackers, as opposed to kind of speeding outside just to deal with the DBs. Is a different life for real. But when you're taking on the big guys in the middle, and Taysom Hill's really catching up with that right now. He's questionable for the matchup. I still think he plays. Cam Jordan was shut down Wednesday, but he had that ankle. He's limited. You remember that's really impacting Cam's movement. You can remember in pursuit angles that he was taking in the prior matchup, he could not pursue. Even when he was trying to chase people down, that ankle issue has really slowed him down big time. Kendre Miller is out for another week. It's just been a disappointing first year for Kendre Miller, man, but the prospects are still bright for him. Rashid Shaheed, I just told you about, that he is going to be out for some time until they figure out what's going on. Is that quadricep, they said, is a lot more, that thigh issue is a lot more serious than what they originally thought. We mentioned and we talked about Derek Carr, concussion, rib, right shoulder, all that stuff, limited. And I knew it when they were having him as limited during the week, and then they went up to fully practice and he's listed as questionable. He will play. Reports are he will play. All right, you don't just do that and then stop him. And like I said, I think Carr should have been sat down for when he got the first issue. He should have been shut down for about a month, then bring him back. Shut him down, then bring him back completely healthy. And I've been saying that people said he's faking injuries. Q, this dude is not faking any injuries. I don't know where that where that talking point is coming from. He's not faking no damn injuries. The dude is actually hurt. He's been having concussions. He got the shoulder issue. He got slammed down in the Green Bay game. They took him to the hospital to do the x-rays to find out that he was slammed down so hard. They wanted to find out if he had internal damage, which he did have internal damage. What I'm saying, because when we were watching him, I said something not right. His passes don't have the same zip on them because they're shooting him up with painkiller. This is not nothing new. This is what they've been doing. So you can see when he was in the game, guy would tapped him on his rib one time when he was throwing the ball, tapped him on his right around his rib area, and he bended over in intense pain. Like somebody punched him. I thought, God, and I thought to myself, man, the guy had to have punched him or something going by for him to act like that. Then when I looked at the replay again, and the guy just tapped him. He folded over in intense pain. I said that guy got either bruised ribs or busted ribs, something going on there that they're not telling you about. The Saints have a history of doing this type of stuff, hiding these type of things with that's going on with players, and now it's the quarterback that they're having issues with, and it's totally crazy, man. Absolutely, I'm gonna dig some more into this concussion situation. Juwan Johnson limited in this matchup all throughout the month, but he's listed as questionable. McCoy is good. Andrews is good. Hope they play improve, because we need better performances from Eric McCoy and Andrews Pete. McCoy got your bread. You got your bread. You need to step up, dude. Watching these weeks and weeks of tape on you, I'm not impressed with Eric McCoy, especially last week when he was out there doing the Cupid shuffle false start, man. And back to back, I am not impressed with Eric McCoy with how he's been playing this year. This is subpar play by a very good player. Like I said before, what did Sean Payton see in McCoy where he wanted to move him off center to guard and wanted to draft a center? I often talked about that. We don't put enough thought into it, and that time frame has passed. But remember, Sean Payton wanted to move McCoy off center to guard and draft the center to play. And that was what he was supposed to do, was play the center position for the Saints while McCoy played guard. Why was Coach Payton? Then he literally later on wanted to see what Ruiz was doing, but he gave McCoy an extra chance to see what he can do at the center position. Then he switched them with Ruiz, and this is Ruiz's rookie year, to center, and Ruiz was playing center because I was covering it all, talking about. I was like, why you drafted this dude with the first round draft pick to play center? And I had my reservations, even though he's turned into a decent right guard. As of last year, he was the best guard we had, and he turned into that last year. The Saints ultimately compensated him. But what was, going back to the original story, Coach Payton switched him in the rookie year to center and moved McCoy to guard, and then Ruiz was playing, and then he got hurt, and then he switched him out, and then it was abandoned. The little experiment that he was trying to do was abandoned, and then he just decided to keep McCoy there. I mean Ruiz where he was at the right guard and McCoy at center. So I often think but I often go back when I be seeing McCoy struggling like this and playing. He's a solid player, but McCoy got the bread, man. The expectation is you need to take it to the next level. Don't do like Ramczyk been doing. Don't do like Ram got the money and ran and has not been able to produce the type of level of play that we've seen him prior to him getting paid. But of course, we know he's been dealing with issues and injury wise, but that's even more of a reason why we might need to take some of that money back. But Eric McCoy has to step up. We know Pete is gone after this year anyway. Speaking of Ram, he had a knee issue. He fully practiced the last couple of days. Pete Werner is questionable, shoulder oblique and all that kind of stuff. He was limited. He's listed as questionable. Blake Grupe is going to be good to go with the right groin issue. Chris Olave was sick. He had the flu. He was DNP, but supposed to be good to go against the Panthers. Nick Saldiveri dealing with a shoulder issue. He fully practiced. Perhaps we need to see Nick Saldiveri at some point, right? I wouldn't be mad at seeing what Nick Saldiveri has to give at some point during the year to kind of help our offensive line. I think he's the future of the position. He really is the future of the position because both the starting people we have that's starting currently for the Saints at the left tackle and left guard positions are a guy that's not going to be here, Andrews Pete and James Hurst. Both of those guys are free agents. Both of those guys are free agents. And at some point, we'll love to see what Nick Saldiveri, who was drafted in the 4th round of this last year's draft, what he can offer to the Saints. All right, and then, of course, Carolina got Troy Hill, Taylor Mouton. There's no designations on them. We think they'll play. Deshaun Williams, the defensive end, is out. Von Bell, we'll see him. Brady Bozeman is questionable with an ankle. Safety Jeremy Chin is back. Your Gross Matos, the big defensive end / linebacker prospect, is questionable. So is Marquise Haynes. Cornerback J.C. Horn should be good to go from the hamstring issue. Hayden Hurst will be out with a concussion. Their tight end, Stephen Sullivan, another tight end. They got problems with tight ends, period. Sullivan has a shoulder issue, is questionable, fully practiced, so we should see him. Tommy Treble is another one of their tight ends, had a hip issue. He should be ready to go as well. And, of course, you look at Barno, the outside linebacker. He is good to go in whatever capacity he will contribute. So now let's go back up to this whole Carr thing, right? Let's look at this. We're going to delve into this and shout out to, who is this? The NOLA.com, man. Tom's picking you, man. Derek Carr clears concussion protocol ahead of the Panthers showdown. Here's the latest. And, of course, they kind of get into it and talk about what's going on with Derek Carr and his issues. And they make some valid points in this. But we know this, when you have a second concussion within a month span of time, that's not a good thing. That's not a very good thing at all to do. It's not good. And also, this is right here what from the same reporter from the Times-Picayune New Orleans Advocate, Luke Johnson, this is the transcript the Saints released for the conversation that he had with Derek Carr about the concussion protocol, right? And this is what was saying. How are you feeling right now? This is Luke talking to Derek Carr. He says, I felt better, but I'm doing great. That's for sure. Thanks for asking. This is 2 concussions in the span of 3 weeks. So the obvious question is, if there's any additional concern for you, what he says, with that in such of a short span of time, either short-term concerns or long-term concerns. And he says, I really don't have any concerns. I did some extra tests and things like that this week, just checking on things. Our doctors and non-affiliated doctors, second opinion guys, said everything was perfect. Really? That showed me the results in comparison to things. I do not have any worries on that stuff. I didn't really feel the two were even related to one another. Really, you get two concussions within the span of a month, and you're talking about I don't have no dude. What in the hell is going on here? It's just crazy. It almost reminds me of the video, the commercial when the guy is playing football. It's a Snicker commercial. The guy's playing football and he gets the hell knocked out of him. The doctors come on the field and say, hey, man, you all right, man? He said, yeah, I'm good. What's your name? Such and such, such and such. All right. He said, no. He asked him, asked him a series of questions that he answered everything. And then when he gets to the question, when he asks him his name, he says, I'm Batman. He says, I'm Batman. Y'all remember that question? Put one in the chat if y'all remember that commercial, man. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all remember that commercial. He said, I am Batman. And listen, I don't mean to make light of this, but this is serious, Car. That's why people need to be thinking for you as well. It's crazy. It is insane. But at the end of the day, we all see it as such, man, is that it's ridiculous, man. All right, Yoshi says car is worse than Fire Marshal Bill out there. Yeah. He says DA says he's doing a good job. I see you, Anthony. Yeah, Soul Fingers, the man. Yeah, the man said, I am Batman. You remember that? Man, listen, that just when I heard that, I said to myself, I said, good grief, God, good God, Molly, what is we doing here? That's what I said. All right, thank you, Yoshi. Appreciate that.
I want to say thank you very much for picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
Yeah, man, this is crazy, man. Yeah, he doing a great job. I hear you, brother. We, of course, knows that he's not. What's up, Rugaroo? Shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you. All right, New Orleans native. How you doing, sir? Brother Ramon, I see you. All right, so anyway, let's finish this up, fam, because I'm going to add something to this. All right. He says, so for me, that's just sometimes the price of doing business and playing football. So no concern on that part, long term or short term. Fully confident that I can be all right playing with that part of it. Really? All right, next question. Did the protocol change after the second injury? Was the treatment different in any way, or was it at all self-contained? Where was it all treated all as the same, or he says, or was it all self-contained where it was treated all as its own separate injury? The protocol, he says, this is Carr, the protocol remained the same. There was maybe a slightly couple of different things just because of having two concussions that I had to do. Then the Saints doctors and trainers went above and beyond to take even a few more steps just to make sure they knew I was good and I knew I was good. That everyone in the building felt confident about my health being number one. He gets a good one there because he threw everybody in there. Everybody in the building means everybody. So when this stuff, if it turns on its head, everybody in the building should get the blame for what happens to this man because this is irresponsible. I don't care if you line up 100 doctors and put them and say, Q, listen, we're doctors. You're not. This guy's good to go. Common sense folk will tell you that's a bunch of BS, man. It's a bunch of BS. Just as a man, I'm being able to accomplish the job I'm asked to do every Sunday. I appreciate that. Maybe it took a couple of more minutes, a couple of more seconds here or there to do things, but it's definitely the smart thing to do. And I appreciate them for looking out for me that way. Don't be too fast on that, my friend. Going back to last week's game, when you're getting some of the family members' reaction that you got last week, how do you personally handle that? Derek Carr says, you play this game long enough. It's not the first time that someone gets upset. I'm completely frustrated with not starting the game off right either. But that immediately changed. We just started throwing it well, running it well. We were very explosive that day. The crowd in the dome was rocking. We were scoring and all those things. Again, that stuff happens. It is what it is. It's a part of sports, but whether you agree or disagree, any of that kind of stuff, it doesn't really matter. It's a part of the game sometimes, especially when you're losing a football game, the way we're losing the football game. But I was just proud of the guy even. They even write it like it. Maybe I should start talking about it. How he talks. Play the game long enough. It's not going to be the first time somebody get upset. I'm completely frustrated when I starting the game off either. But the immediate change, we started throwing it well, running it well. We were very explosive that day. The crowd in the dome was rocking. We were scoring, all those things. Again, the stuff happens. It is what it is. It's a part of sports. But whether you agree, disagree, any of that kind of stuff, doesn't really matter. It's a part of the game sometimes, especially when you're losing a football game. That way we're losing a football game. But I was proud of the way we fought back, turned those things into some loud cheers. I just wish I could have finished the game off because I really believe we had won the game. All right, thank you, Carr. Appreciate that. Offensively, why? He said, offensively, why do you think things were starting to click before your injury? Well, let's see what Carr got to say about that, right, fam? We had a great game plan. We ran one play. Ball ends up in the hands of the guy I pointed over there. And hands, no one ever plans on that happening. Even when I threw it, I didn't think it was going to happen. Stuff happens. Balls get tipped up, all kind of stuff. We never lost confidence in the next drive. We knew we had a great plan. We were seeing the things we wanted to see. Sometimes it takes a second for those plays to start clicking, for us to start executing at a high level. We started doing that, and thankfully we did, because if it kept on going the other way, it would have been really a rough day. We were able to get it going. We want to make sure that we get it started fast. We don't have to worry about all that stuff, other stuff happening. This place has been great to me since I got here. That's not going to change. I'm frustrated as they were in that moment, but at the end of the day, we know that we know what we're doing. But at the end of the day, we know what we're doing. We're looking hard and working. We're getting better. We just got to get some wins. All right. Thank you, Derek, for all that. All right. And thank you for not telling us that you FaceTimed Rashid Shaheed or Chris Olave. All right. It says, are you comfortable with the amount you were able to prepare this week, just given everything you had to do to clear protocol and recover from the injuries you sustained last week? Carr says, yeah, absolutely. It's a few more hours, maybe into the day, but those are the sacrifices you make, especially this time of the year when everybody's dealing with stuff. Everyone has got a broken something. Everybody has gotten a broken something, dealing with this or that. I got my treatment, my protocol stuff, but I'm also, more importantly, made sure that I did everything I need to do to accomplish my job. I also believe that to get anything less, give it your best. Always believe to give anything less than your best is the sacrifice you give. So I'm never going to give anything less than my best. Preparation and all that, the work we've done, maybe we'll get done a little later than usual, but what it takes, you got to get the work done. All right, that's Derek Carr. So thank you, Carr, for that. And notice Carr says he doesn't have any no concerns at all. Short term or long term, he has no concerns at all. No concerns at all. I really don't have any concerns. I did some extra testing, things like that. Just checking on things. Our doctors and non-affiliated doctor group said everything was perfect. They showed me the results in comparison to things. I do not have any worries of that. Worries of that stuff. It didn't feel like the two were even related to one another. So for me, that's just sometimes the price of doing business and playing football. So no concern on that part. Long term, short term, fully confident I can be all right playing with that part of it. So that's Carr. So, I did. I'm sorry, Rich. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, bro. I was listening to Carr. I was listening to Carr. I'm sorry, brother. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can find you up there. Did I miss a couple of them? I missed a couple people's stuff, man. Hold on. Let me get everybody together here. I was just studying and listening to Mr. Carr talk. Yeah, appreciate that, Q. Gotta throw it over here. I got to duck down, and I took a picture, throw it over here. I'm not any concerns right now. Okay, I got you, brother. Appreciate that. All right, Chantel, thank you. Says Big Q, how the hell is Carr out of concussion protocol that fast? What doctor would clear him as fast as all those other players I see out there for at least 2 games? But of course, Allen's going to play him. Thank you. Appreciate you for that, Chantel.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Indeed, Chantel. All right, brother Rich says, Q, DA and Mickey, I believe, don't want to let Jameis get any bonus from this contract by starting any games, just like they did him last year. That's evil, man. That's an interesting point, bro. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Far too kind.
And brother Prime says, Carr's response is, I'm bad.
I want to say thank you very much for picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
Indeed, man. This is the thing that is really interesting, man, about what's going on. Thank y'all guys for your super chats there, man. Much love, man. I was doing my listening to Mr. Carr talk, man. I was studying on every damn word, you know. But listen, fam, this is the part when we do what, like we said we're gonna do. We do the research outside of what they say, and that's what the family members does. What's up, Farouk? Shout out to you, brother Gundam. Much love, man. Appreciate y'all being brother Tragic. I see you, man. Big ups to y'all guys. Anthony, I see you, fam. Sky Life, shout out to you, man. Appreciate you. Joe Dog, shout out to you, man. Good to see you in the chat as well. Big ups to the fam. Now, this right here, family, what I got on screen for the fam. What's up, OG to the third degree? Oh, he said, just got back, check engine light, car. Okay, I thought you about to say your engine light. Nah, bro, good. Yeah, definitely need to check car engine light is on. That would be a phenomenal thumbnail, by the way, man. You guys, you hitting on it. What I got on screen here, fam, this is from the National Library of Medicine. It's the NIH, National Center for Biotechnology Information. This is a government site. And when I asked and was doing some research, it's a lot of information out on about it. I thought this was one of the more reputable sites that we can rely upon what the information is saying about it. Now, what's going on with Derek Carr is what they term it as second impact syndrome, right? And that's when you have multiple concussions within a certain span of time, right? This is some of the background information on this stuff, right? A controversial term that first described by some doctors, Saunders and Harbaugh. That's weird names because we have a Saunders on the team and we know who Harbaugh is, right? We got some Harbaughs out there that's coaching. Hopefully we wanted a Harbaugh to be the coach of this damn team. But anyway, that's a different matter. Second impact syndrome consists of two events, typically involves an athlete suffering post-concussive symptoms following a head injury. If within several weeks the athlete returns to play and sustains a second injury, head injury, diffuse cerebral swelling, brain hemorrhagation, and death can occur. Cysts can occur with any two events involving head trauma. Says it's rare it's happened, but devastating in young, healthy patients may die within a few minutes. And this is serious stuff. So having concussions within a certain rapid recussions within a certain period of time is not a good thing. And this article kind of gets deep into what's going on. And for him to make it out of concussion protocol by Friday and be ready to play a game on Sunday, and he had two concussions within 3 weeks, is really interesting, right? And then, of course, they talk about the controversy surrounding it. It's a condition so rare that even the frequency of its occurrence is in question. And they talk about it here in this article. It breaks it down, man. It gives you a lot of stuff about what happens with this particular thing and how dangerous this could be. You know, and then it compares it to like vehicular homicides. It also talks about vehicular incidents, and stuff that happens with athletes by getting these concussions. It gives you the numbers behind it. They give you all of the numbers and everything. And they said the word concussion comes and they give you all the breakdown on that. To shake violently, it's a Latin word for concutere. I hope I said that right, which means to shake violently. A concussion is defined as an immediate and translucent loss of consciousness, LOC, accompanied by a brief period of amnesia after a blow to the head. And post-concussive syndrome, up to 3 symptoms arise within less than 4 weeks from the initial LOC. These includes headaches, dizziness, fatigue, insomnia, irritability, this was the one which was like, bam, because, you know, getting hurt and all this kind of stuff, the irritability factor, alcohol intolerance, and other symptoms such as subjective concentration, memory, or intellectual difficulties without neuropsychological evidence of marked impairment. Then it gets into all of the other stuff. A simple concussion is an athlete's injury that resolves without complications within 10 days, whereas a complex one involves persistent symptoms beyond 10 days or an additional symptoms of seizures or cognitive impairment or what is external head or contusions or confusion or something. The dude's just confused about things. The event of concessive amnesia roughly correlates with the duration of the loss of consciousness and the severity of the head injury. Now, this is a long ass article, and I invite you guys to kind of look up at what could be behind what happens to people that have these type of concussions. And listen, his concussions, when he was knocked the piss out of them, both of them, right? Those are really severe shots that he took, and at no point do they even consider sitting this dude down. No point do they consider sitting him down, and you got more of a capable quarterback in the back. And this really is. He go to treatment right here. It says now they don't use the term. Now let me just tell y'all all this other stuff. They don't use the term that this article uses. They don't use double impact, or they don't use that type of terminology in the medical reports of what they're saying about Carr. They don't say that. They don't make that they don't say that. Even though you see that the definition based on the medical website is what happened. He had 2 concussions within 3 weeks or a month, right? Which is dangerous. Now, true cyst involves brain herniation and death within minutes. Now, this is on the extreme end of it, right? So they're just showing you the use of different treatments to kind of help with this thing. Now, they said that he did that, but we know, even though if the doctor's saying that, it is still a dangerous thing for Carr to be brung back into the game at this point, even if the doctors are telling you, hey, he's good to go. We good to go. Carr is good to go. We can bring him back in there and do what we got to do. You know, he'll be fine, right? He'll be fine. But I just think for the interest of safety, Carr should be at least set down 1 week after having 2 concussions in that time frame. And they're rushing him back out there because of the money that they're paying him, and it's pressure on the Saints to win. Dennis Allen is feeling the heat for his job, and so are the rest of them in there. They're feeling the heat. So the last ditch effort is to keep Carr out there, but it's so unfair to run this dude out here. And he's dealing with all of these things, getting concussions and all this kind of stuff. It's just totally unfair. And even if you don't give a damn about, you got yourself, you got to at least care about it, the player, the long-term effects of this on this player. All right, so anyway, let's delve back into this article right here. This is from the New Orleans Tom's Picayune site. All right, and this is what I just read you. Some of the article is sourced from here. We didn't sense that Derek Carr from the doctors with Derek Allen saying what he says. We didn't sense that from Derek from the doctors with Derek, and so we kind of had to manage the week a little bit, not 100%. And this was a Dennis Allen saying about Derek Carr. So I'm gonna play him momentarily in a minute. We're gonna go through that because I got his interview. We're gonna play that. But he said, this is his words. We didn't sense that from Derek from the doctors with Derek. And so we kind of had to manage the week a little bit, not 100% knowing. So both of those guys gotten opportunities, gotten reps, and both of those guys will play if will play if their number is called. That's kind of how we handle it. Now, here's the particulars of the concussions. He suffered the concussion last week when he took a hard hit in the 4th quarter. We know what happened. The second concussion was the second of the season, 21 days apart from the head injury he suffered in the loss to the Vikings. Upon exiting the game, Carr was diagnosed with shoulder and rib injuries, but Allen said early in the week that neither ailment was expected to impact Carr's availability. Now, it's not worse enough that the man has a head injury, a concussion, in 22 concussions in 21 days. And I said a month, like 2 concussions in a month. That's still not good. That's even worse that would happen within 21 days apart. That's dangerous. The second thing is he's still dealing with multiple injuries already. Like he's dealing with the shoulder that he got from Green Bay that never really healed. Because remember the reports that we showed that he couldn't be having any activity at all while that shoulder, if he wanted that shoulder to heal properly. There is no healing going on here. There's no healing. They just shot him up with painkiller and he's going out there. The reports that's what we do, independent reporting outside what the doctors tell you, because they're going to tell you what the team wants. The team's going to find the doctors to okay the guy, to push him out there. So we know that we don't believe what they're saying most of the times because we know how it works in the sports game. It's all about the money. It's all about production and getting these guys out here despite the fact that they might be banged up. or not ready to go. So we looked at the reports were saying inactivity, that he shouldn't have been doing anything with that shoulder. You couldn't have had any throwing motion with that shoulder for it to heal properly. And we all know that that wasn't the case. He was throwing the whole damn time. In some games, the Saints were having over 30 plus attempts with Derek Carr throwing the ball in games, and he had a shoulder issue. It didn't impact the dumb play caller from making these calls and relying on something else to move the ball as opposed to having him throw the ball 30 times in the game after the shoulder injury. Crazy people. But anyway, like I said, man, he had rib issues, and I know he got some type of busted rib issue going on right here. It happened. It happened when the Green Bay game, they covered it up, and then they had to admit, like, they changed it to like a shoulder. Now they admitting it's ribs after Bruce Irvin planted them. Oh, now you got a rib issue. It just popped up because Bruce Irvin planted them. He been had some type of rib issue. He been had it. All right, Carr said the league's protocols remain mostly the same for treating another concussion. It shouldn't be remaining the same if a person is concussed within 2 concussions within 21 days. The policy should change. There should be an extension period on top of that just for safety. Despite what the doctors say, just to play it safe, Carr, we're going to shut you down this week, and then we're going to look at you again next week. Get your backup ready, Coach Dennis. Okay, you got it. None of that, man. Just stick the guy in there and let him go ahead on there and see if you can win a game. Totally terrible, man. Totally terrible about what happens with this whole situation with Carr. But anyway, let's move on, man. Let's get to Dennis Allen, man. We're going to play him and move it, keep it moving, man. But yeah, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. Gundam says, question, if things goes really bad for the Saints, will they draft the QB? Hopefully Jaden Daniels of LSU. Depending on where the Saints fall in the draft, bro, you know, depending on where we're falling, and I haven't really done any, and of course I've been, watching Jaden Daniels. That's LSU. We know what time it is with all the players that's eligible to be drafted out of there. He will win that Heisman Trophy today. He will get that Heisman. I promise you that much. He's won everything else. And usually when you win the the Davey O'Brien Award, when you win the AP Award, you won the other QB award, the Johnny QB award. He got all of that. He's a clean sweep right there. And of course, he'll win that Heisman today. Nobody's stats are even close to this guy's. His numbers was better than Joe Burrow's stats. We just didn't have a defense this year. But yeah, I don't know, Brother Gundam, if that will be the case, because I'm going to have to look at the order of where the Saints fall at, because they'll have a ton of QB desperate teams that's ahead of the Saints. And I think that unless he falls and slips to where they are, and then also it's a loaded question, bro, because we don't even know, this, man, listen, it's hard to span ahead because it's a very thick fog that's just over the horizon. You can't look past it. The only way to figure it out is you got to go through it. You get what I'm saying? This analogy I'm using, you can't, at some points you can look and say, okay, yeah, I can see that happen. I can't see beyond this year because the team is so incompetent with its decision making. Do they justify keeping Dennis Allen? A new coach comes, he's going to want his own quarterback to come. Now, of course, if a new coach comes and he wants to have a Jaden Daniels type, that will work. And I'm like, listen, the stuff that Taysom Hill does, and even if Derek Carr is the quarterback, it's like how you justify that. Taysom Hill, if I'm not mistaken, Taysom Hill's contract is up this year. His contract is up this year, right? So if that is indeed the case, what do you do with those RPO packages? Let me tell you something. Jaden Daniels can run that stuff. He can coexist with a Derek Carr. He can create a separate offense within your offense. He will actually make the throws that Taysom Hill can't make, and even Derek Carr can't make. Ultimately, he'll unseat him. But that's the thing. You have to have a coach with the imagination to be able to do that, to be able to say, yeah, you know what? We losing Taysom. That's a lot of money we spending on Taysom. He's not exactly a spring chicken no more. We know that Coach Payton is going to make a play for Taysom Hill once he becomes a free agent. So what do? If you go after Jaden Daniels, it's 2 things that could happen. You would have to draft him if he slides to you, or move up if you really are motivated to get him, to go and get him in the draft. So whoever the coach is, if they don't get rid of Dennis Allen, because if Dennis Allen is the coach, I don't see him taking Jaden Daniels. He won't take Jaden Daniels. He won't. He won't take any quarterback that oppose a conflict with Derek Carr. He will not take a first round draft pick quarterback. He won't do it. But maybe another coach will. So that's what I'm saying. It's difficult to even look past this season because they're so incompetent with their decision making that we don't know if these people are going to. They should fire Dennis Allen because I don't think he's going to win enough games to make him relevant for a third season. You can't set the ticket prices are everything's for people giving their tickets away. Finally, we starting to see people, because I've been trying to get this to happen for years, and people just starting to finally see. People are slow to realize it, but they're here. At least they're here. That, hey, man, we've been saying this for years, man. We need to stop. We need to form a blockade, an economic blockade, not give them any of our support or our energy, because they need both to survive. They need all of that to thrive. The leadership is ignoring our commentary. They're trying, well, they hear you, but they're pretending like you're not. When you got the general manager sitting up there saying, hey, man, we know that, it's upsetting to see the family members not in the dome, but we know how it is out there, but how expensive it costs to go to the dome. No, that's totally not what they're doing. They dissatisfied with the team, but the dude was spinning like you don't have enough money. That's why you're not going to the games. And the people they talking about are season ticket holders. Their tickets already provided for. What are you talking about, man? It's already there. It's just bull crap. And the line, instead of just listening to what the people are saying and maybe investigating their thought process, maybe instead of formulating an ignorant, unbalanced, back-ass dinosaur mentality toward the people who are criticizing you, maybe you should look at what they're saying before you say these dumbass things, Mickey Loomis, and sit up here and protect Dennis Allen. Nobody would protect Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen's not even going to protect himself. He knows that he's going to ultimately get fired, but it's all about how many people goes down with him. And a guy with that amount of bad judgment needs to go with him. How do you justify? If you said I made a mistake, that's one thing, but to stand up here and literally form a dumbass blockade against people saying, hey, man, look at this team on a 3-game losing streak. The quarterback is concussed, multiple concussions. They can't protect him. The offensive line is up and down. Instead of listening to, we giving you specifics to go out and investigate, get on your job. But it's like a dude that don't want to do nothing. He's like a lazy detective. Oh, nah, he just don't want to do anything. He just won't smash his ass and drink orange juice and clam chowder all day. But that's all right. Keep doing that. You're going to be doing that all the time, and you won't be the manager of the running the New Orleans Saints organization, not with this poor judgment. That's why I was like, yes, this is uncovering a lot of errors in the judgment of Mickey Loomis. It really is. People saying, Q, does it impact his dynamic? Yeah, hell yeah, it does. Hell yeah, it does. Because it shows that it was Mo Payton than it was Mickey Loomis. He was a part of it, and a small part. He just listened to when Payton told him go get these players, he went and did it. And he finagled them, taught them how to manipulate the numbers. We don't even need him for that anymore. The Kai Harley can do that. Hell, Fontenot doing that in Atlanta. We don't even need him to do that no more. So we got a guy we don't even need anymore. The only way you stay is if you have a progressive mentality to understand what it takes to win. That call to make Allen the coach was one of the worst decisions that he ever made. And actually one of the worst. The worst decision was his stupid bullshit stance on protecting Dennis Allen without correcting him and telling him to make corrective actions to the team to improve their chances of winning. So the people just want to win. We don't care what you're talking about. Make the team win. Don't sit up here and give me dumb stats. Don't even protect. Don't even help him hold up his arguments. The stuff that that's why he gets upset and they're getting upset in the building, because we hitting them where it hurts with the facts. You give me something, I give it back to you and say, bro, this is trash on this plate you giving us, man. What is this foolishness? This is garbage, and we throw it back at them like you would do. Somebody come out, you order an expensive food, a plate of food at this restaurant, and then the guy comes out and brings you garbage that he from the garbage disposal and hands it to you like a French waiter. we must sure. He put it down in front of you. Gonna look at this and throw, just get this out of here, man. Throw this, you know. But it's just you can't protect these. You can't protect this guy. You're dead wrong. And for you to do that, that lets me know you won't be. You won't stand up arrogantly against us, dude. You don't have a chance against the Who Dat Nation, man. Because at first we just wanted Dennis Allen out and Pete Carmichael. Now we want you out. You won't stand with Deadwood, you get burned with them. You can get your ass, you can take it. We don't even need you up there no more, bro. Hell yeah, this impact his line, his linear, whatever you want to call it, his look with the Saints. Hell yeah, it does, because it shows that shows Mickey Loomis was nothing but a small piece in the Sean Payton machine. Just like a Pete Carmichael and the rest of them. They can't sustain success without Coach Payton being in the middle of it, man. That's right. They were just small pieces, and he was the large piece. He was the machine that made it all go. And you can tell he just smashed his ass and didn't even go in there to talk to him. If Tom Benson was here, Tom Benson would be having daily briefings with Dennis Allen, telling him what to do. I don't know what Mickey Loomis learned from Tom Benson, but he didn't learn a lot. Maybe he learned how to sell cars and how to jimmy up the paperwork or whatever the case may be, but he damn sure didn't learn how to be a general manager. Part of your description is to manage something. What are you generally managing? You're not generally managing anything but a propaganda mill that's about to get burned the F down, man. He's a general manager. Oh, my bad. And VP of player or whatever the case may be. Mickey is more VP of whatever that is than he is general manager. I mean, maybe he's reached the age now where he can't generally he ain't generally managing nothing. He just sitting on his ass and letting it fall apart. And people are saying, looking at him, say, bro, you gonna do something about this? Well, no, we got the best folks in the building. What you talking about? No, bro. Listen, go do something. Go tell Dennis Allen to switch up his personnel in that offensive building. Switch it up. Let's try some different play callers. That's all we asking. Do a little something different. Oh no, I'm not gonna interfere. Oh, what you mean? You're the general manager. You're supposed to be generally managing. What are you generally managing if you ain't doing that? Oh, I'm more VP now, Q. Yeah, listen, I did that general manage stuff, several years ago. I got a promotion now. You know what I'm saying, big guy? I got any more promotion now. I'm a VP of player or whatever. VPs don't do very much. They just make a phone call. Or make a phone call to Dennis Allen and tell him change some stuff up, please. Oh, no, I'm not going to meddle. I'm not meddling. You see, Q, you're a meddler. You're a long-distance meddler. And that's the worst kind. That's noisy. That's very negative noise that you're talking there. Yeah, that's negative noise. You're a long-distance meddler is what you are. We know who you are. That's the great think tank. Oh, yeah, we know who you are. Look, man, we don't want no beefing with nobody. We just want you to do the right thing. We just want to win. Please go do part of your job description and go generally manage something and go manage to get them to change up offensive personnel. Do something. That's all we asking, bro. But him making his stance with Dennis Allen, I stand with Dennis. The hell with you, Saints people. No, I don't tell. I picked Dennis Allen. I'm telling. I stand with him. Well, then that's the line in the sand, brother. You're gonna have to live with that. And they're not ready for that type of action. They're really not. All he gonna do with what he did last year is run. He gonna run and hide from the Who Dat Nation. Supposed to be an end of the season press conference last week. Last year that didn't happen for weeks till after the season. And the bull crap excuse. Well, I was upset. I had to calm down. I had to calm down. I was upset. I was mad. I had to calm the hell down. Did you do anything once you calmed down? Oh no, I wasn't that upset. Hell, I want to tell you. So it's just ridiculous, man. It's sad. So like you spurred this question, and I'm like asking myself, I don't really see any of that happening. I'm sorry. I don't see Jaden Daniels or anybody that in coming up next year that'll be available that the Saints are going to take. Dennis Allen, if he's still on top of the team, he will not take a first-round draft pick quarterback, even though it'll benefit his offense to have Jaden Daniels, because even Jaden Daniels can do what what Taysom Hill is doing better than what Taysom Hill. And I'm not talking about the physicality of Taysom Hill's game. Jaden's a different type of quarterback. He's gonna have to thicken up a bit, but the guy, how he did it in college, and he'll have to change up his game some, but he can throw and run equally well. That would makes him a dual threat action, quarterback that is ridiculously difficult to match up. And if you have Derek Carr in there and you bring Jaden complements Carr because he can operate basically what they're trying to do, what Coach Payton was trying to do it was a great idea. They just never executed it because they didn't have the discipline to execute the Taysom Hill plan the way it was supposed to. He's supposed to be two offenses in the same building. If one offense struggle, we have Taysom Hill's offense in there to run, and it makes it incredibly difficult for defensive coordinators to game plan for two offensive units or ideas or mentalities. It's like fighting a fighter with two different mentalities. You can't sink in on them. It's like fighting a dude. It's like Terrence Bud Crawford. He's what you call a switch hitter. He's a southpaw. And then he can go orthodox. And it's a dude. He is a guy that can fight from either stances, and if he switch in between both of them seamlessly, it's difficult to game plan somebody like that, an offense like that, because you can have a Derek Carr offense that's struggling, and if Jaden Daniels is in there, he's throwing the ball and running the ball and having success, especially in the Saints QB friendly system. And he has a very high IQ. He's a very respectful young man. He's a dude that can take you far if you give him the right pieces. Very humble spirited dude, man. Very humble spirited dude. But like I said, I don't see any of that happen as long as Dennis Allen and Pete is sitting on top of the team and Mickey Loomis is appreciating toward him. I just don't see it happen, man. It'll be a great idea. Like I said, it makes sense, man. Yeah, 2017, I remember Big Q said Saints need draft. Yeah, because when Drew Brees was there, we knew, what was it? When Drew Brees started to get these injuries, we knew, hey, man, we need to find a quarterback. That year, when all that started really working, was the Lamar Jackson year. If y'all remember when we was covering it, when Lamar Jackson was up in the draft, the Saints moved back into the draft or moved up. Oh, I forgot how it went, man. Y'all remind me. But the Saints moved themselves in position to make a play. Everybody thought it was Lamar Jackson. Yeah, the Saints moved. We about to get Lamar. And then they ended up drafting Marcus Davenport, who is a unmitigated bust for us. And he ain't doing shit with the Vikings, by the way. So this is who we missed out on Lamar Jackson for, Marcus Davenport, who never became anything for us. You had Lamar Jackson on your sites and went beyond him. And they then had the gall to go and chase down your boy from the Browns, Watson, to chase him down last year. So I mean, these guys, they don't have a clue, and it's quite obvious. They don't have a clue. You need a young quarterback. They got Jake Haener here, but they took Jake Haener. Notice Carr was the one that was involved in getting them to draft Haener. Why? Because he get the Saints to get what he wanted, his self-appointed QB replacement for him once his 4-year contract is up. Yeah, Jake Haener can take it from there, because Jake Haener is not ready to play football and won't be ready to play football steadily for at least a couple of years. And then you have Carr here running the team. So Haener is not a threat to Carr in any capacity. We know this. But if you take Jaden Daniels and bring him in there against Carr, not only does that force Carr to get his game together, but you have a quarterback that'll be running along with him, operating offense. And what if Jaden's version of the Saints offense takes off and Derek Carr doesn't? Then what you do? You're going to basically run him right ahead of Carr. So the Saints are not going to bring in any competition for that where they're supposed to, fam. It's just a sad thing. Yeah. So we got to start thinking about that, man. All right. Yeah. How many, put one in the chat if y'all remember me beating the drum for the Saints to draft Jalen Hurts. That year when Hurts was at Oklahoma, I was talking about Hurts a year prior to that, because LSU had to deal with Jalen Hurts in the SEC. And they were sitting up here spreading BS about Hurts at Alabama, that he was only a quarterback that can run. He can't throw. Only thing he does is run. So what Hurts did was he transferred from Alabama to Oklahoma in his final year and was throwing and running and showed them people up. And then they were still saying Hurts is a second round, a third round quarterback. His accuracy is the propaganda machine started to spin. And that's how they do it. And I was like, man, that's BS. Jalen Hurts is going to be a phenomenal player. And I was pushing for the Saints, telling them, making shows about them. Listen, I scouted this guy. I'm telling you, he has the leadership ability, athletic ability. He will improve as a passer, and he did in Oklahoma, and the Saints didn't even look at him. They didn't even look in his direction. I think he got picked up in the second round? He went to the second round, and he done turned Philly around. Everything is about, they can't even win without Jalen Hurts up there. When we played them last year, we beat them last year because they didn't know what they was doing. They put what's his name in the kid we played against the Colts, Gardner Minshew. They had Minshew in there. We told them people up. Jalen Hurts coming there, you don't have a prayer. We hadn't been able to beat Jalen Hurts since the Philadelphia Eagles drafted him. When he's playing, we beat him last year without him, but when he plays, you can't beat him. And that's the thing. It's not hard to tell whether it was Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts or any other quarterback that you want to take high. There are guys that change franchises, and there are guys that have leadership and high leadership abilities, intelligence there, and they have the skill set to be able to play that level. Jaden Daniels is a guy that can really be something phenomenal. He got to gain a little bit more weight, but he's accurate. He's one of the fastest people on the field. And he needs some tweaking to his game. And if you get him in a Saints-style offense, my goodness, man, watch out. They won't do it, though. Yeah, I've been saying this about these people. They don't listen, and they're stupid. Frederick says, I love Jaden Daniels, but the broke-down car has another guarantee. Yeah, bro, listen, you're right. There won't be the Saints will not, as long as Dennis Allen is the head coach of this team, the Saints will not draft a quarterback in the first round, because that's probably where you're going to have to draft them at, and then bring them in here underneath Carr in the second year of the Carr administration. They don't want to drafting the impact of draft. Think about what you're saying. The impact of drafting a quarterback in the first round means ultimately this guy is going to be the guy. He's going to be the guy. And we got a guy that you spend $150 million on. Wouldn't it look kind of crazy? You took a first round draft pick quarterback and you just spend $150 for a guy, paying him $30+ million a season, and you the very next year of you signing him, you draft a quarterback. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it unless Jaden Daniels slip to the second and beyond round. In the second round, I would still say no. If he's there at the third, they'll take a chance on him, but he will not be there in the second. I think he's going. They got a lot of QB hungry teams that's going to be out there. There's Washington there. I mean, it's a ton of teams that's going to be available that needs a quarterback. You know, Chicago, they're going to be trying to get rid of Justin Fields, so they might be looking in a different direction. You got a bunch of teams that's going to need the Jets. They still going to need a quarterback with Aaron Rodgers there. So, you know, like I said, there's a ton of teams that's available that's going to need QBs, man. And I just don't think it's going to happen. It's terrible, man. All right. Shout out to Dana Tuck. What's up, Tuck? Shout out to you. All right. Big ups to the fam. All right. Yeah, it's the cap situation. What's up, Baltimore? All right. Yeah, Bronze. What's up, fam? Appreciate you, man. Much love. All right. Big ups to y'all. What's up, Trey? Shout out to you. All right. Captain Cajun says, he says, Saints have gotten so bad that my area doesn't even air their games. I'm in mid-Mississippi. They show Falcon. Come on,
hey,
man.
bro, come on now.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
They literally booted the Saints out of the man's TV market to put the Falcon. Here y'all go. This is the NFC South leader right here. Right? That's supposed to be Saint territory, by the way. Just let y'all know. Mississippi is supposed to is Louisiana, obviously. Mississippi and certain parts of Alabama is supposed to be Saint territory. That's supposed to be their area where the games are viewed. But for them to kick the Saints off the viewing off the television, now you probably could view them. I don't know if you can view them if you get like the NFL app or whatever to watch the games there. You might be able to see them there. But in just on the regular national television, and they booting it because they understand that for them to do that, that means nobody's watching the Saints games. They're turning them off. That's why the people are reacting to watching Atlanta games. Look, the viewership for watching Atlanta is better than watching the Saints because the Saints ain't got nothing to show right now. They ain't got nothing to show. You got a dumb general manager, a dumb head coach, and none of them, they stubborn. They the worst type of people, the dumbest, a dumb, stubborn person that don't know what they're doing, and people telling them do something, and I'm not going to do a damn thing. I want metal. You're a meddler, Q. That's what you are. You're worse than a meddler. You're a long distance meddler, and that's the problem. No, Mickey, the problem is you're not making no calls right here, and people are getting frustrated. All right, so anyway, let me put on this guy right here if you can stomach it. Let's continue with on Captain Cage. They put the Falcons game on. Hey, watch this. Watch this. Watch the Falcons in same territory. And they still doing the same thing. These people are hard-head, stupid, and back-ass. Let me tell you something. Oh, man. Well, Captain Cajun, man, we appreciate you being here, man. We'll be covering the game, doing the play-by-play, fam. So you're more than welcome to watch the game with us, man. No, huh? No, it's the truth, man. To kick it up. Yeah, I'm an instigator. That's right, Barbara. Oh, yeah. Well, you're cute. You know what you are? Not only you're a long distance meddler, but you're also an instigator. Oh, I'm an instigator, Mickey. Oh, yeah. Hey, damn right you are, buddy. I can tell you. I can tell you something. You're an instigator. That's what you do here. You know, and all this rebel rousing, Mickey. Oh, yeah, instigator and rebel rousing. Oh, you get all these people fired up, man. And well, look, Mickey, just to be honest with you, they're already fired up. I just happen to be the person that, they're focusing all their up, the energy through to you. If you just would listen and change up a few things. I'm not going to change. Do I need to sing it for you? Please don't sing it, Mickey. Oh, I'll do it. I'll sing it to you, buddy. Let me tell you, you're an instigator and you're a long distance meddler. We don't need to have any of that right now. We don't need any negative noise. But Mickey, it's not negative noise. If the people are frustrated, they're reacting to the bull crap that you're giving us. You're in a negative dude. You. Well, how? I just don't get your logic, buddy. Well, listen, let me explain it to you, bro. This is the thing. What's going on is your team that you helped assemble, that you had a big part of, they stink right now. They're on a 3-game losing streak. They lost the division lead to a hated rival in the Atlanta Falcons. That is enough for you. If you don't get that, then I don't know what to tell you. You lost the division to the Falcons. You had a one-on-one matchup. There is by any measurement, no matter how bad the team is, it's always supposed to beat the Falcons. Did we get that? Mickey? No matter how bad the team is, it is required that you always beat the Falcons. Amen in the chat? One in the chat? No matter how bad you are, and you might lose to the majority of these teams, but as long as you beat the Falcons, they'll stay up off you just a little bit. But losing to the Falcons and the division lead with them, that is unreal to us, and we are totally disgusted with that. Well, since you break it down like that, that makes a lot of sense. Well, still, that's negative noise. Okay, Mickey, listen, enough is enough. Let me go ahead on back to the chat. Shout out to the fam. I tried to tell them, they don't want to listen. All right, 504 Doc says, hey, Q, I just got a new alternator on my Sequoia. Maybe car need one too. Yeah, brother, if you... yeah, you need a new alternator, brother. It's so crazy, these car puns, man. It's so catchy. Like the car engine light is on. It's a broke down car. The payment on the car is overtime. All these puns are hitting on one, man. Let me tell you, all these broken down car puns is right on one. Because a man, listen, I ain't making light of the man's injuries, but it's happening, man. And for his name is Car, and he keeps having all these issues, and people turn it as car problems, car issues, all these car puns, his car, check the engine light, all that type of stuff, man. That's funny. It's funny, man, to me. But thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Far too kind.
All right, thank you, fam. So anyway, let's get going, man. Thank you, 504 Doc. Much love, bro. Appreciate you. See. You need a new transmission. See, all these car puns, not only are they funny, but the car puns are actually they're hitting on one, man. You know, because people will say this stuff. The man named Car, and he keep having all these issues, and now you need a car. Maybe not, he needs an alternator, he needs a transmission, he needs an engine. The car, the four flat tires on the car. Carr can't drive the Saints offense. It all is, they should have really actuaried this out before they signed this man. Because if he struggles, all of these car puns are coming. And I'm pretty sure the Raider people were doing the same damn thing. All right. Shout out to you, Brent. Appreciate you, man. He says, for Chowder Guy giving us historical stats. Come on, man. Yeah, he always likes to do that. Make y'all like he runs out stats that go nowhere. That's like Bill Cosby would tell some of his stories. And these stories, like in the middle of the shows when he'll do the Cosby Show, he'll tell these stories, and then interviews, he'll tell stories that go absolutely nowhere. And that's like a skit that we had that we would make fun of Bill Cosby back in the day. We love Bill. Me and Swade and the rest of them, we were like, Bill Cosby tells stories that go absolutely nowhere. Like, oh, we did the time with the guy, he went to Bam Bam Boom. I went to school with him, and the guy name was, his name was Big Jeb, and then Jeb went with the ball, he fell down, and then that was the end of it. And then the thing would be Bill Cosby tells stories that go nowhere. That's the same as Mickey Loomis. It's basically hyped up word chowder, man. And we call it word salad, but for Mickey, we call it word chowder. And also, Brent, thank you. He said, for well, now listen, Big Q, just eat this chowder, man. No,
Hey,
man,
bro, come
doing,
on
man.
now, dog.
We're not eating the chowder.
Come on, man.
Thank you, Brent.
I wanna say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
All right, shout out to Brett, man. Baltimore says lost to the Falcons off a bye week. Good point, bro. That's another thing. The bye week was meticulously and intelligently placed there because they knew that even before, when the schedule was created, that game, because they pushed the two matchups with the Falcons beyond the bye week, which is something I don't think I remember them doing that. Maybe I'm wrong. Y'all let me know in the chat. But that first game, all after the bye week, gave the Saints extra time to prepare for the Falcons. The schedule makers knew that Atlanta and Saints matchup after the bye week would be a big matchup. They knew it, and we knew it. And it was. It was a big matchup because the NFC South lead at the time was on the line. And if you win the game, you control the South. You control the South, and the Saints went in there. And not only did they give up 7 points, which was a pick six, the quarterback has a lackadaisical mentality after the game, does stupid stuff during the game, thanks to guy, congratulates him from getting the pick six. The same pick six that ultimately decided the fate of the game. The Saints could not come back to win the game. So absolutely, Baltimore, thank you.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
Yeah, indeed, that it was off a bye week and you still lose. If anything, you are required to beat the Atlanta Falcons. The fact that Dennis Allen lost to the Falcons, the way they lost to the Falcons, and it wasn't the Falcons. No disrespect to the Falcons people, man. They done a good job. A lot of the people that contributed to the success of the team, like Jesse Bates and them, they played really well. The Saints turned the game over. Had not Carr gave the pick six on the stare down, the Saints could ultimately won that game. And like I said, I'm tired of saying shoulda, woulda, coulda, because it's always them shooting themselves in the foot in key moments of the game. The game last week, they lost to the Detroit Lions, in which we picked them to lose anyway prior to the game. But they stayed competitive because they were down by 21. They kicked out all the stuff that didn't work and just started going for it. The team catches fire. And then you know what happens at the first play of the fourth quarter? Carr fumbles the ball back to them. They score. And that score right there kept the game away from the Saints. So in both the last 2 weeks against these teams, whether it's the Lions or the Falcons, Carr had crucial turnovers himself that helped gave the victory over to the adversary. He was involved with both of those. The fumble to the Detroit Lions at the top of the fourth quarter and that pick six, those were crucial reasons why the Saints lost those games. It was on Carr, and Carr stood up there and would not take the blame for it. He said, no, we win. It takes 11 people to win. not just one player. And then the coaches refuse to criticize him because he has obviously a very frail ego. He can't take critique. For them to behave like that with him. So it is what it is. But here go his coach, Dennis Allen. And don't you love his body language? Doesn't this look like a guy that's going to get you a victory coming up on Carolina? Well, Carolina, we know Carolina's not very good. But listen, I don't care what they're talking about. Carolina has a young scrambling quarterback. And usually these are the type of games where they throw out everything and say, hey, listen, we're playing a team we can get a victory on. The New Orleans Saints are a team we can beat. We have an ugly history, we being us, the New Orleans Saints, the black and gold family, of not living up to playing some of these quarterbacks. I remember the RG3 game, his rookie game, when we played him and he defeated us, and y'all can come up with several other ones when we play these young quarterbacks and they have success. That and they say, well, he done it's nothing dangerous. Listen, that's an NFL team on the other side, them sidelines, fam. They're getting paid just like our guys is. It just so happens a lot of people not pinpointing this because Carolina's looked crazy for most of the year, but it only take one time. They got one victory this year. They're going to get another victory or two before this season ends. They are. The only question is everybody picking us to lose against the Saints. But I'm going to tell you something. That's how they're thinking. The Saints struggled against young rookie quarterbacks that can move and throw the ball. Can these people graft a stratagem to stop to get at the Saints defense? We have not been able to stop these quarterbacks scrambling around and making things. Hell, we couldn't get to Jared Goff, and he a statue back there. One sack to Zach Bowen. No pressures and all this kind of crap to get him on the ground and knock him around. We haven't knocked around anybody, maybe except for the Patriots game with the quarterback they have up there. But since then, we hadn't been able to get to anybody consistently. They form basically a half a moon of a protection around the opposing quarterbacks, and they stand back there, look at the field, they can take off and run. And the Saints damn sure can't chase no Bryce Young, especially if he gets going. That alone right there can give them confidence to move the ball. Plus, the Saints have been suffering with the rushing attack. They're starting to allow teams to run on them now. So we're not as far along as like they would indicate. These people can take advantage of some of our weaknesses, and I'm going to get into that, man. But let's listen from Dennis Allen. Here we go. Put one in the chat if y'all can hear this dude.
Look, good work this week.
All right, fam. Just give me. Here we go.
We're excited about the opportunity to play.
Dennis Allen's unreliable on the press conference. Let me refresh it, man. He's unreliable and he's unreliable in kicking and doing games. He's unreliable, period. Here we go.
Look, good work this week. We're excited about the opportunity to play the Carolina Panthers, again, a divisional opponent. This is a game that we need to go out and play well, and our team needs to win. So we're excited to get back out there in front of the home crowd.
DA, is there anything you can update us on with Jared's status?
No, really. Look, he's got to go through the full process. I think he's made progress, but he's got to go through the full progress. Obviously the injury report will come out later.
Did Kendra Miller suffer a setback with his ankle injury?
No, he's going through the recovery process. Was making significant, strides in his rehab. I think it's kind of stalled just a little bit, but there's been no setback.
DA, Jabari Greer going in the Hall of Fame today. You were a big part of his career. Can you just speak to his induction today?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Well deserved. Jabari's a guy that played really, really well for us. A guy really, honestly, that we were trying to sign, Ron Bartell at the time, and that kind of took a little bit longer than we were wanting, and we moved on to the next option, which was Jabari. Man, just a great person, great player, made a lot of plays for us, but just an unbelievable human being. He was great for our locker room and great for our team. It's awesome for him.
What's just the preparation like when you got a couple receivers down, Chris not able to practice? Like how does that kind of affect that?
Yeah, look, I mean, some other guys have to step up and practice and execute, and then they'll have to be ready to go if Chris isn't able to go. I would anticipate, hopefully, that he'll be able to go. But if he's not, then some other guys are going to have to step up. So, but I thought our guys, handled it well this week.
We kind of asked Joe about this yesterday, but with Zach Bond seems to have a little bit more of an uptick in pass rush here recently. How much have you seen from him in that area that you liked?
Yeah, look, I think that's that's something that he did in college, and it's we've kind of looked at maybe getting a little bit more athleticism on the field, as a rusher, which I think he provides. So he had a hell of a rush, last week, and so we'll see how this game plays out and see if he gets any more opportunities.
Mostly envision as a stand-up rusher, I imagine, off the edge, or is there the opportunity for him?
Yeah, well, I mean, it kind of depends on the offense. Will kind of dictate a little bit of that as to how he plays, but yeah, I mean, that's traditionally been what he's done.
And then just not too long ago, I'd asked about Lynn Bowden being a guy that maybe you could see in a Taysom Hill-like role at some point. Is that something that maybe y'all are looking at maybe having to do?
Yeah, look, I mean, Lynn will have a role, in the game. Exactly what that role will be, we'll let the game unfold and see what that role is. But he's certainly a guy that's earned these opportunities, so he'll have a role in the game.
What did you guys like about Monty Rice and PJ Mustafa bringing them in?
Yeah, so Monty's a guy that played. He's played at Georgia. Was a really good player at Georgia. I think there's some athleticism there. I think there's some strike ability. He's tough. He's physical. He's smart. So we like the player. We like the prospect. Thought it was good to get him in our building. So we were able to do that. And then Mustafa is a big body, inside. And so obviously with Roach going down, we need to look at some other options that could potentially help us in that role.
Yeah, Chris obviously had that little patch of adversity there, Olave. How did you see him just kind of, work through it? It seemed like he's kind of emerged a little bit.
Yeah, look, I think he's played really well. There was a lot of talk about him kind of earlier in the season, and he went through a rough patch. But he fought through the adversity. He knew that, stick to the process, keep coming out here every day, going to work. And that's really what he did. And as the season goes on, he's gotten more and more opportunities, and I think he's taking advantage of those opportunities. So really proud of, what he's been able to do and fight through that, because it's not easy. But I think he's done a nice job of that.
With Olave being sick enough to miss practice, is it a situation where he's had to stay at home, and kind of how do y'all handle that in terms of preparation for the game and stuff like that?
Yeah, look, I mean, he's involved. He's been at home, because we don't want that kind of going through the rest of the roster. He's got the flu. All right, so he's on medication. He'll be back in here this afternoon with the doctors. When you get a situation like that, you try to keep those guys away from the rest of the team as much as you can, so you don't have that running through the team. So, but he's been involved with the game plan, and if he's healthy enough to play and feels well enough to play, he'll be out there on Sunday.
I can imagine you don't want to repeat of
We've already had one go through the roster. We don't want that same thing happening again.
Obviously,
Literally go through the roster.
obviously the doctors have to make the determination on Derek Carr, but how do you decide, early on, it felt like with 2 concussions, maybe he'd be a long shot to play, but he's obviously getting a lot of snaps in practice, and you don't know how many to give him and James.
Yeah, so when you go through, the concussion protocol, there's some steps that have to happen, and there's some early conversation, with the doctors in terms of, we had Chris Olave last year that had the concussion, and we kind of knew pretty early in the week that it was going to be hard for him to, to clear the because of the severity of the concussion, it was going to be hard for him to clear. We didn't get that sense from, Derek or from the doctors with Derek. And so, we kind of had to manage the week a little bit, not 100% knowing. And so both of those guys, have gotten opportunities and gotten reps. And both of those guys will be prepared to play if their number's called. So that's kind of the way we handled it.
What's terrible about it is I think I don't care what the doctors are saying. They need to err on caution with this car, dude. Two concussions in 21 days, fam. And you remember what happened to Chris Olave? He mentioned that. That's why the reporters are giving him, well, how did you guys? There's inconsistencies in their methods, in their movements. How did Chris Olave take such amount of time to clear? And then this guy had two concussions within a 21-day window, but yet he cleared before, faster than Olave is what the reporters are basically asking. And he's saying, well, the two such. And listen, I'm not a doctor, but I'm saying 2 concussions in 21 days is not good. What if something like that happens in this game? They get to him again and knock him around. Maybe not this game, but what if the following game? I would just err on side of caution. It's not like you have a rookie behind him. Just sit the car down and let somebody else play for the week just to be on the safe side. I mean, seriously, even though the guy telling you it's no effects, I'm not worried at all. Man, you talking to somebody that got concussed. Most of the time, his noodle all rattled up. You don't listen to what he says, and that's when the coach. We don't have a head coach, by the way. And y'all already know that. So if a real head coach would say, "Listen, we have a veteran quarterback that's been in the system for multiple years. He knows it better than the guy that got hurt. So let's just sit him down. We're going to err on the side of safety for Carr. We're going to sit him down. We're going to bring Jameis in. Give Jameis all the reps. Let him prepare to do his thing. The only problem is if Jameis balls out, which he probably will ball out against the Carolina Panthers, and let's say they beat the Carolina Panthers 35-3, then the pressure would be on him to turn around and say to Carr, hey, man, look how that offense look. And the reporters and all of the family members would say, look how different the offense looks with Jameis in there and not Carr. And really, he's justified to shut Carr down for multiple games. He's been given a really good medical excuse. Like, we know Carr's tough, but listen, he's had 2 concussions in 21 days. We're just thinking about safety. So we're just going to shelve him for the next couple of games and then come back and reevaluate him. But for right now, Jameis is our guy. We're going to give Jameis will start for us until, and then they got a real good medical excuse to give to the teacher for missing, for being late to class. Shout out to Brother Prime. He a teacher, man. So I'm using that type of stuff because of Prime. But thanks, Prime says, Carfax, I'm 68-86. My skin is my end. Okay, thank you, bro. Appreciate you, Brother Prime. Thank you for that, bro. Thank
you. Far too kind.
Yeah, it's one of those things like, bro, they have a really good medical excuse. They've been given a really good medical excuse. Really good. The guy had 2 concussions in 21 days. Let's shut the man down, man, for real. Shut him down. This is in the interest of self-help to him, and he won't like it, but hell, he ain't got a choice. And then let's let Jameis have the next several days, and Jameis will win. Let's say Jameis gets in there, he wins tomorrow, he wins the next game, he's on the 2-game losing streak. That creates a problem. It creates a problem because if the offense is going with Jameis and Carr comes back, people are not going to want to go back with Carr. There'll be pressure to keep Jameis out there as long as Jameis is winning. And see, that's something that they really don't want to deal with. They don't want to deal with a QB controversy. They really don't. So as soon as Carr, they got him back soon as he can, so he can run back out there and they have it. Because the problem is not just keeping Jameis and keeping Carr ahead of Jameis. There's a monetary it's a monetary issue here. Carr is getting paid $30+ million a season. He has a contract, $150 million over 4 years. That's widely broadcast. We all know that. So Jameis got it. This is his final year. They don't want to have the cheaper quarterback balling out over the expensive quarterback, and then that creates a problem for them to have to deal with. especially Dennis Allen. He doesn't want to deal with any QB controversies, even if the QB has your team winning. So that's something to think about as well. So shout out to you guys and I'm gonna keep playing this for a little bit longer. All right, Brent, thank you, bro, for the Cash App. Says, you said it, Big Q. They need Cosby sauce chowder. I don't think anybody need that, bro. Based on information that was kicking out, man. Try my pudding pop. It's just Sway does a really good Bill. I used to do a really good Bill Cosby, man. Sway does a really good Bill Cosby, man. But like I said, man, thank you for that. Appreciate it.
I wanna say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
Yeah, this is listen, fam. Thank you once again. Thank you, Prime. I just think, man, yeah, y'all hit the like button. Thank you. Appreciate you, KK. Much love to you. What's up, Colorado? Shout out to y'all. Good to see y'all, man. Sonny, shout out to you. Jason, good to see y'all, man. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. Debbie, Christopher, much love. Appreciate y'all stopping by. What's up, Ahmad? Good to see you. Nick, Nick Kerr, shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you. Good to see y'all in the thing as well, man. Big ups to everybody, man. JC, how you doing, fam? Hit the like button for me, fam. Listen, this is head scratching, man. I've listen, car has its issues. There's a lot of car problems. It's a lot of the light is on in the car, and I ain't gonna do that. But yeah, there's a lot of car issues and car problems that the man is currently dealing with. The offense is not really moving that well. Now, the last game was a bit of an exception. Let's be real. It was a bit of an exception because of the fact that they were down by 21 points at the end of the first quarter of the Detroit game. And they got desperate. They don't have that same level of desperation that they play with every game. If they did, they would win most of these games. And they were desperate, and they were really facing a major sense of urgency. And they don't play with that urgency every game. You've seen it in that game because they were down so big. So a lot of the dumb plays that they will run that wasn't impactful, they would throw them out, and they were using stuff that got the offense going. Watch when the game starts against Carolina. Do they still play with that same sense of intensity, urgency, focus? No, man. They were down by 21. They were forced to do that. And that's why I'm saying I'm putting an asterisk next to that game because of those circumstances. They don't play with that same set of circumstances every game. They don't. They really don't. If we did, we'd probably be 7-5 as opposed to 5-7. No doubt about it. So I still think it's a very bad decision to run Carr out there, bad for his health. And plus he got his noodles scrambled. There's some side effects to that, man. There's some I'm thinking about it, and I'm saying in the game against the Lions, y'all remember the fumble play in the fumble play, the fumble play at the top of the fourth quarter in the Detroit game, right? Did anybody have an opportunity to go that is not a part of the Patreon and look at that play? Y'all let me know. Fam, did you see that play? That to me was one of the weirdest plays that I've seen in a long time. Not because of the fumble. It's how he reacted to the fumble. Y'all put one in the chat. Did y'all see that play? Did y'all have an opportunity to go back and look at that play on instant replay? We did it for the Patreon and the YouTube membership family. It was the weirdest play ever because the fumble happens right immediately after the ball was snapped, right? Hurst pulls to his right because it was supposed to be a toss play to Elvin Kamara, right? Everybody's pulling right, and he was going to pull the ball out and toss it to Elvin Kamara to his right side, and Kamara would get the ball and run to the right side, look if he can gain some yardage or not. But what happened was Hurst pulls his hand, fingers, whatever, pokes the ball, which is kind of loosely in Carr's hand, pokes it right on out. Now, the way Carr handled it was he played it like he didn't know the ball was out of his hands. How could you not know that? Like, let's say if we're at the 10-yard line where, I'm not saying it happened at the 10, But let's say for the sake of this, this description that we're at the 10. The ball gets poked out by Hurst from Carr around the 10-yard line, right? He didn't react to the fumble until he was at the 5-yard line because he moved and cycled out. And when he stopped and put his hands up like the ball wasn't there, he was at the 5-yard line. That's why Carr didn't jump on the ball when it happened. It happened right at the 10. I'm not saying it did. I forgot where it was, but I'm just using this for this demonstration. But he gets the ball poked out at the 10. Didn't react to it being a fumble until the 5. And I was like, what is this? Because usually if the ball gets poked out, you're going to look at it and be like, where is it? And you're going to try to jump on the ground to find out and try to recover the ball. He wasn't even he rolled out like the ball, like he fumbled the ball at the 5. And when he got to the point where he's supposed to toss it to Kamara, he was like, where's the ball? And his hands, like he made a gesture like, where's the ball? What? I was like, man, what is going on here? It's like the dude thought he still had the ball. That was his motions. Now, he could have been playing around to kind of adjust like he didn't know what happened, but the ball was poked out immediately after the snap, which means the ball was around the feet of the offensive lineman. Carr continued to play like he had the ball. And when he stopped, he was 5 yards from where the fumble occurred. How do you describe that? How do you break that down? How do you make sense of what just happened there? It was almost like a bad Madden glitch that we seen happen. The ball got poked out right after it was snapped right there at the line of scrimmage. He was 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, like he was going to talk, like he made it to the toss point, like he was supposed to throw the ball. How do you get to the toss point without the ball? How do you, what's going on here? How did he get to the toss point? He rotated around to the toss point where you're supposed to toss the ball to Kamara. How did he get to the toss point and not realize that the ball was on the ground at the line of scrimmage? How do you do that? 5 yards away. How do you make that make sense to me? I'm telling you, y'all go back and look at, for those who don't say, Q, what are you talking about? Go back and look at that fumble play that happened when Hurst hit the ball out of his hands. It went down around the line of scrimmage. Carr continued to play like he had the ball in his hands. No BS. Go look at the play. I did it for the Patreon and the YouTube membership family and played it several times. I said, family, what is going on here? How does the guy not know that he doesn't have the ball? How does he make it to the toss point and don't realize he has the ball? How? And and bigger still is, why wasn't that a question to Derek Carr after the game? That I remember. I don't remember anybody asking him or asking Dennis Allen, how did Derek Carr continue to play like he had the ball in his hands when the ball was on the ground at the line of scrimmage? How did he get to the toss play 5 yards away to the toss point where he's supposed to shift the ball to Kamara without the ball? Can somebody explain that to me, please? It is one of the weirdest plays that you would ever see. And then his reaction after that, it's like when he gets to the toss point, his hands go out like, where's the ball? Dude, I'm just like, this guy here, man, is out of his freaking mind. And he pointing at the line like it's their problem. It's on the tape. Y'all need to go and look at that if you didn't get a chance to do that. Why did he do that? Explain. That's a question to Who Dat Nation. I'm going to go back to play Dennis Allen. But I want y'all to tell me, how does that even happen? How does Carr not realize that the ball is out of his hands, right? He snaps it. Hurst pulls, the ball gets poked out. It's around the feet of the Saints offensive lineman around the line of scrimmage. He still continues to play and then gets 5 yards away to the toss point where he's supposed to throw it to Kamara and then puts his hands up like, where's the ball? Y'all explain to me what happened there. I'm going back to Dennis. Here we go.
Did you guys find out anything more about Taysom Hill's hand injury and kind of what's been going on there?
I don't want to go into the details in terms of, what it is. I don't think that's really, the limiting factor. The limiting factor with him has been more the foot.
And so, what do you think's been behind kind of the uptick in y'all's rushing numbers lately?
Well, look, I mean,
to be able to run the football effectively, you gotta create movement on the line of scrimmage. You got to block them, and I think we've done a better job of doing that, over the last few weeks. I think Alvin's run the ball, extremely well. I think he's run the ball physically. He's been explosive as a runner. And then certainly Taysom's been a big factor in, our ability to run the ball better. So I think it's about, execution. I think we've done a better job of that.
And I know he's practice squad, but Shaq Davis coming back, when a young player like that has missed a significant stretch of the season, are you able to still get any evaluation on him when he's not out there on the practice field? Like you learn anything?
Yeah, look, he's been involved in everything that we've been doing. He just hasn't been able to go out to practice. So he's been involved in, the meetings. He's been when we've gone through the installs. He's in there. He's learning. He's obviously not getting the reps, which is a big part of the growth of a young player. And so I think it's important, for him to be able to get back out here, start taking some reps, and really actually be able to physically go through the things that we're going to be asking him to do. Now, obviously, a majority of that's happening, on the look squad, but we're excited about having him back out here. I think he's a good prospect.
Oski, did he re-aggravate the quad injury in the game?
Yeah.
Dennis, the booing the other day, I know we talked about it, but I'm kind of curious, did you feel the need at all to talk to Derek and all that? Is that something that comes with the territory? You just ignore it and move on?
Yeah, look, you control the things that you control, and really, I guess to a certain extent, we control that by, the way that we play. Obviously, I think it was, unfortunate because I think Derek's, probably played better than maybe what some on the outside might think. So it's part of this business. He plays a high profile position. Obviously there's a lot that's expected out of that player. And that's kind of part of what goes along with it. I had a nice conversation with Derek after the game. He's a tough guy. So, he'll battle through whatever adversity that anybody wants to throw at him.
Notice Dennis Allen didn't make any commentary about the $150 million. See, we're not going to, and I guess that's my part of the game, is kind of just to sprinkle that there for the things that they just kind of omit. The reality is Carr is facing a lot of fire from the Who Dat Nation and people in general at the football people because of several reasons. One of the top is he's not playing very well, despite the fact that his statistics say certain things, like those statistics are supposed to be through the roof. Right now, if Carr was on code and doing what he was supposed to do and he had the proper tune-ups, I can't help myself with the Carr puns. But if he had his tune-up and had his alignment and everything set correctly, then he would be one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL stat-wise. He should be, because of all the weapons that he had up until week 9 or 10 when stuff started falling apart. He had most of his weapons. So he had these guys here. He had the wide receivers here that was catching. It was him looking at half the field. See, and the thing is, the reporters are asking the question and allowing the coaches to be real. Dennis Allen is he's a spewer of garbage. He's going to give you some melancholy, crap. He's going to give you some bland GMO food for you to digest, and it'll make your stomach upset and ultimately piss you off. So what we're doing is we kick that off the table, and we're going to put some nourishing, soul food down here for the family members to eat, because they have questions, they have concerns, and they should, because they're watching a team that is falling apart before our very eyes. You got a quarterback here that shouldn't be playing right now. Derek Carr is tough. He is tough, but that being tough and smart sometimes could be two separate things. Sometimes your toughness can get away of you being smart and sitting your ass down, especially if you had 2 concussions in 21 days. That is not very good, sir. You are risking some serious medical issues with that because you want to play a football game. You need to sit your ass down. Jameis Winston is more capable to operate in this offense than Derek Carr is. It's just what it is. Jameis had 3 years in the same system than Derek Carr. 3 to 1, that's more experience, fam. Usually when you have somebody that was doing something for 3 years versus somebody was doing it just for 1 year, the person that was doing it for 3 years is probably going to be better than the one that was doing it for 1. Just common sense shit, right? So you're in good hands with the West when Winston changed, especially based on the medical information that we're getting from Derek Carr. 2 concussions in 21 days. He should not be playing in this game. But like I said, this is stupid. This is a dumb decision by a guy that's not very smart at the head coach level. It's not. $150 million over 4 years. That's $30+ million a season. That is why they're forcing Carr out there, because of the money. Because of for real, man. It's all about the paper. And of course, he's getting heat. He's getting heat not because people are mean. Oh, just people they don't have nothing better else to do in their lives but to get online and bash Carr, to vandalize. I can't help it. It's too many of these Carr puns, these vehicular terms they apply to Carr, to get online and vandalize Carr. Are you kidding me? It's too easy. But anyway, to vandalize Carr, to bash Carr, it's the same damn thing. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm not trying to go there, but with the puns, but it's the truth. They're not. People got a lot better things to do to sit up here and vandalize or bash Carr, or to, talk about him in a negative light. No, he's giving them fuel. And this is the misdirect that I keep telling people about, that the Saints are doing. See, it's a propaganda team operating. They call it what? It's the media team, whatever. But there is a talking point where they don't want to take blame for what's happening on the field, even though they're the source of it. So when you pinpoint these type of propaganda techniques out, they lose their effectiveness. They only work if you don't know that they're there. That's how this thing works. It's like it's subtle crap. And once you realize what it is, and then you call it out and you say, I see that, it don't work anymore. You got to come with something else. But the problem is the majority of what they're trying to do comes from that same playbook, the playbook of creating the Saints family members and supporters as problem people, that you're creating negative noise, that you're unfair to the players, that you guys are being negative, and you need to stop being negative, and you're not true who-dats because you dare question what the team does. You're not trying. Number one, this is not church. That's number one. Number two, even though they name the Saints, they're not behaving saintly at all. They do a lot of unsaintly behavior. Number three, they got several key demons in the building that really need to be kicked out. That's causing chaos. Okay. That's number three. And then the fourth thing is, if you're a supporter, and I don't use the fan term, I don't want to use that term. I would rather, and I've been kind of focused on that term the last several years because I kind of looked at the fans. I don't like the fan tone. I'm going to just be honest. Some people do. I don't. I don't like using the fan tone because what it does is it's fanatic. And we're not, and if you think about and you look up what a fanatic means or what the definition of it, it doesn't come with any positive connotation whatsoever. So for them to choose that term to use to apply to you, you're more like a supporter. You support the team. You buy their merch. You go to their games. You watch them, which even on TV gives them value because they know who's watching them, and that aids to them keeping on television. If it goes down, they'll put something else up there because they want to keep the dollar high. But I'm saying you're a supporter. You're giving money. You're buying merch. You're doing something in terms of helping the team. Even if we're sitting up here talking about and spitballing ideas of how the team can improve, just like most of the other people, all the professionals, supposed professionals do on these other big networks, then, it's the same thing. But it's propaganda. The Saints are attempting to turn around the negativity and put it on the supporters and say the supporters are being negative and they need to stop that and support the team. It's because of your booing. Mickey Loomis even said booing does not help us win. It's not supposed to help you win. What it's supposed to do is supposed to let you know that we're displeased of what you're giving us. Get this tried and true and spread this out for all the family members out there so we can stop this from happening. Mickey Loomis, the source, and I'm telling them all that the source of the negativity is not the Who Dat Nation, the supporters of the team. It is the team itself. They're the ones that's promoting a bad product on the field. They're playing bad on the field. They're playing inconsistent. They're having turnovers. They're not disciplined. They look crazy. They're spending all this money and they're wasting time. They're doing stuff that's stupid and they refuse to change. So with all that being said, all this they are actually the source of the negativity. We are reacting to the source of negativity. That's what's going on. We're reacting to what they're giving us. And when we react to what they're giving us, they call you negative. Like you're the source. We won't play that here. That's propaganda and mind control bull crap that these people are attempting to do. We can't allow that to happen. So that's why I'm saying we got to keep that before. We are not the source of negativity. We are reacting to what the product on the field is. That's what needs to be understood. All right, we're gonna finish up with Dennis. Well, actually, I'm done with Dennis Allen. We're gonna move on, man. Anyway, let's go ahead on and move to the next one. Thank you, KK. Shout out to you on that one. We're gonna move on to here in momentarily. But yeah, this is the reality. You take that propaganda BS from them. You take that away from them. Take it away from them and let them know, hey, bro, you the one that's out here. Then he called the reporters. What was the term he used? It unsophisticated or some crap like that. Oh, that's just the journalism is lazy in it. What was it? Lazy and unsophisticated journalism. That's what he says about the reporters that was saying, telling you about what's going on in the building. We finally got the best reporters for the Who Dat Nation. I mean, it's a lot of them. We finally got them on code. And they reporting like it is. They're not scared of the team. They're asking the questions. They're doing everything except for Mike Hoss. Mike Hoss is a joke. He works for the team. He softballs questions all the time. Mike Hoss is garbage. But outside of him, the rest of them are awesome, man. And they're hitting on all cylinders. They're asking the proper questions. Outside of that, man, we finally got him where we want him, and we got to protect him. If he starts talking to attacking them and saying it's lazy and sophisticated, that's attacking their professional journalism. That's attacking their integrity, their internal with the journalistic integrity. It's attacking the internalistic integrity. Journalistic integrity is what they call it. They're attacking that, and that's all you got. If you're a journalist and you're reporting stories and you're writing on stuff, and if you get a reputation of being a guy that writes BS, that's hard to shake. We know a thing about how a name is and how important it is to build a name and to do the things that need to do to keep your name clean. But when he did that, that was unfounded, that was irresponsible. And Mickey Loomis is the biggest joke in the building over there. He's sitting up there. He don't want to do anything to stop all this BS from happening. And that's a problem. All right. So shout out to the fam, man. Big ups to Rain 1134. Thank you, fam. Appreciate it. He said, I played hockey and my head hit the crossbar. Wow. I got a concussion. Played the next game and I didn't know the puck was in my glove when the ref came up to get it. I got taken out. Car is hurt. Thank you, bro. I think he said JS. Is that BS? Thank you, bro. Appreciate you for that, man. Wow, man. That's something.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
Wow, that was very, man, listen, that's a very interesting testimony right there by Rain, man. Thank you for sharing that with us. Dude, that could explain what happened with Carr. Remember the fumble thing I was telling you guys about? Man, that could really be the case, man. It really could be. Brent says, he says, Mike sellout Hoss. Come on, man. Yeah,
Hey, bro, come on now,
man.
dog. Come on, man.
I know you work for the team, man. So does John, what's his name? John DeSacer. But John DeSacer doesn't sit here. Every now and again, John will throw a softball question in there to kind of soften up things. Like people be talking about why the offense looks bad. He'll throw a defensive question in there. And we catch it every now and again. But Mike Hoss is the worst. Even though people, you don't pass off people's questions and their concerns like they don't know what they're talking about. Those are valid questions. They know what they're looking at, and to play them like they don't have an intelligence and they're just fans. That's why I said I don't want nothing to do with that dumbass term. For them, that's just fans. They're fanatics. That's why they use that term. Like you don't have any sense. Like you can't even put two good ideas together to oppose them. They just good at giving you money and coming yelling their heads off and getting drunk at the dome. But hey, man, whatever you do, don't listen to them when they get upset. Just send out the press team and spin the shit and just tell them, hey, man, just we're doing the best that we could do here. The players are playing hard every game, Q, and it's going to be fine. Just chill out. Just chill out. We're going to be all right. No, we're not going to be all right. We're saying that we know this. We've seen this play before, but that is very telling. That Rain's testimony here about hitting. He said he didn't know where the puck is. That Derek Carr play really baffled me. And if anybody thinks Derek Carr is in his right mind, operating the quarterback position needs to be replaced. Really is. And he did throw in. I read the statement, the transcript from the conversation that Luke Johnson had with Derek Carr that said everybody in the building was cool with the decision. I said, I'm so very happy he said that. Now we got that on record that they all knew they all know, all of them know what's going on with Carr. So from this point forward, if Carr goes out there and he struggles and he stinks and he has problems, it's going to be an issue for all of them. Nobody can say that they didn't know what was going on. They didn't know what's going on. So I'm happy for that. Thank you for sharing that, bro. Appreciate it, man. I hope you're doing all right. Sky says we need to test the entire coach staff for concussions based on, I'm telling you, man, they don't even use it. It's so deceptive. They don't even use the term, because I was like looking up. I said, if you can do the research too, it's very light research, fam. You just put in there 2 concussions in a month and it'll bring up a name for it. It's called double impact. And it tells you the good and the bad. There's an extreme to it and there's a lesser. And then there's in between. It talks about it and there's a lot more detailed articles. I just chose one from an actual medical website that is reputable, but there are tons of others out there that you could do research on too. And they don't paint the same glowing picture of this rehab than you see with Dennis Allen talking about, that he's a tough guy and all this. That ain't got nothing to do with him being tough. Smart and toughness could be different. There's 2 different things. You kind of need both of them to be smart and tough, but it's not smart to put a tough quarterback out there and he's just suffering from 2 concussions in 21 days. This is ridiculous. This shouldn't even be a conversation that we need to have, man. That guy should have been shut down, man, at least for a week. I'm saying shut him down for at least 2 weeks and then reevaluate him after the fact. This is not healthy for the quarterback. And they're doing this because they're under duress, because they know if they don't win this game against Carolina, Dennis Allen's ass is getting fired. If he don't win this game, if you lose this game to the worst team in the NFL and they come in there and beat you in your own building, Dennis Allen is not going to make it into the next week. You can't justify keeping him if he loses to Carolina. He will be fired. You can't lose to the worst team in the NFL and then sit up here and talk about we got to chop some more wood then. What are you going to do then? Come out with some more wood chopping? When did he turn into a lumberjack? When did he turn into a lumberjack? He won't start chopping damn wood all the time. We just got to chop some more wood. That's all. For thank you, Brent. He says yeah, he does that a lot. I just despise listening to him. Just get your damn thoughts together, man. He says it's a sign. Is that a sign of concussion too? And somebody said, look, his nose is kind of red there. Somebody might have punched him in the nose. I said, you might have been at, well, y'all heard the story of a little old lady I created. I ain't gonna say it. I made up, I just had a little skit I had made up about Mickey Loomis going getting them some eggs from the supermarket. And the old lady was mad at him, took a wig off, started beating him with it. Anyway, thank you, Brent. Appreciate that.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me
I know, bro. Shout out to you, Brent. Thank you, man. Yeah, I know it's shameful, bro, but what can we do? When did we start chopping woods? All of a sudden, we chopping wood now? Is that what we doing? Well, we just got to chop some more wood. All right. Oh, okay. So now we went from janitors, because everything was got to clean it up. Now we went from being janitors to now lumberjacks. That's quite the straight difference between the two. But this is what we got to deal with, man. If you don't handle your business correctly, man, this is what it's about. Brent says, for Possum playing Beaver, he not, yeah, there you go. He turned from a possum to a beaver. That's why he talking about what. Oh, okay. Thank you, Brent. Appreciate that, man. I was trying to figure it out. I was trying to figure it out. I was trying to figure it out. He went from a possum to a beaver. That's why he talking about chopping wood. Okay, I got you. Thanks for clearing that up there, Brent. Thank you, man. All right. Yeah. That's exactly that's what it is. All right, shout out to you, son of God. Says, Big Q, I bet this $5. Okay. James starts when the Saints are out of the yes. Yeah, bro, you right, man. You ain't lying. You ain't lying, brother. You right on the money. Jameis starts when the Saints are out of the playoff race, so Jameis won't take Carr's job. Then Derek can rest. Yes, bro. You know the man all too well, bro. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
Thank you, son of God. Appreciate you, my brother. Yeah, you are absolutely right, sir. I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you, man. You're absolutely right. And it's just awful, man, that we just, everything's going on with how the Saints operate. And really, a lot of this could be changed relatively fast. All this could be changed relatively fast with a few tweaks here or there. But we got a guy that don't want to change anything, and he's stubborn. And we got a general manager that's equally as stubborn. They don't want you to interfere in what they're doing. And if they lose, and when they lose, they're gonna come out and tell you it was the injuries and we need more time. We're gonna need some more time here, fellas. We're gonna need some more time. Okay. I know people are upset. No, you don't. He says like he knows, but he really don't. When you acting like you're on our side when you're not on our side. Mickey Loomis is not on our side. Understand that. Don't let these people sit up here and talk to you like, hey, listen, buddy, I'm on your side. No, don't let them do that to you, man, because they're not on our side. They're not. Mickey Loomis formed a line in the sand. He hired this guy, and he didn't even update his you're supposed to evaluate every week. It's a part of his general managing duty. He's not generally managing anything. He's not trying to set contracts or do anything. He's not doing anything right now. What is he doing? I mean, tell me what he's doing right now that's benefiting the team. Part of his job is to be a general manager. He has 2 jobs. I think he's the VP of some BS. Let me see if I can pull up what Mickey Loomis actually does and see if it applies to his job description. He's supposed to be a guy that's supposed to be a general manager here. He's supposed to be a general manager. But yet and still, he ain't doing no general managing. He really not. He ain't doing nothing. He the vice president, and maybe that's what they need to do. They need to make him just be the executive vice president and give the general manager term over to Kai. Let Kai be the full-time general manager. This dude is not doing any general managing. He's sitting up there and letting Dennis Allen fold the team into the ground. He's not trying to do what they call course correction, to change things or tweak things. We're not asking for big, broad, sweeping change. We're asking you to have some incremental change in there. Make like something as simple and easy as telling Dennis Allen, let Ronald Curry call the plays this week and see how people respond to it. Stuff like that. That's all very commonsensical. He refuses to get along. So he's the vice president and general manager. Obviously, he can't do both. I mean, he cannot do both of them because he ain't doing shit now. And then when we tell him, we know they get him because the people getting him to him. They know who time it is. They hear me saying this. I've been saying it for almost 10 years. He knows the frustration of the people. Instead of appeasing the frustration, he chooses to blockade himself in and just sit up here and call what you saying is negative noise. I don't understand how you are a public relations person or you have anything to do with the public with that kind of dumbass mindset. You ever heard the term that the customer's always right? Regardless if the customer dead wrong, the customer always right. It don't apply in the NFL. The customer is always right, especially when the customer is not only paying for the rent of the building, paying for the utilities of the building that they're playing in, allowing them to take 100% of the concessions, the merchandise. I talk about this, and I'm probably one of the only people that talk about all of the money that we give. We got to have a full discussion about it. We got to have a full discussion about it because there's supposed to be lines drawn and limits that's supposed to be placed on a team. You can't give them and let them have full blast of everything. That's stupid to do that. There got to be some limitations because they impose limitations on us. We impose them on them. You can't ask me to give you all and you're not willing to do the same. I've said that before. That's called a bad relationship. When you got somebody giving everything and some asshole sitting up here not doing anything. That don't work. That's a bad relationship you got there, buddy. That's a bad relationship. I'm telling you, I know. You give 100%, now somebody else gives nothing. Oh, that's pretty bad. Gotta make a change. But this guy can't obviously do 2 things at once. It's for real, man. Anyway, the Scoop, thank you. What it do, pimping? He said, Big Q, what it do, pimping? Driving, listening, and sending some love from the cheap seats. You might want to lighten up on Mickey. Mickey's he says, he keep that thing on. Yes.
I wanna say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing
Shout
me
out to
back
School,
to
man.
this world.
Shout out to School, man. Oh yeah, man. You tell him, School. You tell that Big Q guy. Listen, big guy. Listen, big guy. I keep that thing on me. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I ain't want to use it on that old lady. She was beating me with a wig that time, man. I know better. I practice and I stand in the mirror and I protect. I'm Jesse James. I pull in the eye, work on my draw. You better watch out, big boy. I got you. All right. Thank you, School. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for that, man. But yeah, it's what it is, man. 2 jobs. He can't even do, I don't know what the executive vice president, what he does there. But in terms of the general manager, the dude is not general managing anything. You're supposed to listen to the people, and their concerns are valid. They're telling you, hey, man, can you change up a few things? Can you just go in the next room and tell Dennis Allen to let Ronald Curry call the plays to see if that has an impact on the offense? Could you do that? That's all we really asking him to do. Change it up. See if you can get Jimmy Graham involved. Tell him you're his boss. Go in there and tell him that. Oh, I'm not meddling. I'm not going to do it. I don't care how much you yell at me or how many names you call me. I'm not going to budge. I'm not going to meddle. See, that's your problem. That's you guys' damn problem. You're meddlers. You're long distance meddlers. You're rebel rousers. You're instigators. You're negative noisers. You're negative nannies. All of you guys listening to this damn broadcast, you're all negative nannies. Oh, yeah. I don't tell you. I'll tell you. I'll let you know. You're all negative. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But the Saints are the source of negativity, Mickey. They stink on the field. So how are we supposed to respond? Oh, just cheer. Cheering helps us. Cheering. So boos don't help, but cheering helps you? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we was cheering and you're 5-7. So how it ain't doing too much? How the hell? How is it? Well, boos don't help. And obviously cheering wasn't either, because we were cheering and we just got 5 wins. We 5-7. We were cheering. And you know what I'm saying? We would cheer every time you get a touchdown. We were cheering. Obviously, cheering is not helping you, brother. That's all I'm saying. Boos doesn't help. No, they might not help, but cheering don't help your ass either, man. Being real, man. All right. Anyway, let's move on to this, fam. Let's jump on over there. Yeah, the guy ain't general managing anything, man. It's probably time for him to, if he wants it, keep the vice president job or whatever that is, but that general manager job need to go to Kai instantaneously. Maybe this after the end of this year, he needs to step out. Seriously, it's time to not joke about Mickey Loomis. It's time for Mickey to step down, bro. It happens to everybody. Sometimes the game passes by. This was a really awful call, the Dennis Allen thing, and even worse is that he refuses to come out and go to Dennis Allen and have him to fix things because Dennis is incapable. And for him to make that dude the head coach over the team and don't do anything to fix his mistake, he needs to go. He really needs to go. But anyway, let's get into the offensive side, the breakdown for the Carolina game as I get ready to go. All right, so the statistical comparison between the two. Carolina, as you can see, total yards per game, 267.3. That's 30th in the NFL versus the Saints, 348.3, which is 11th in the NFL. So you got the total yards per game. Carolina is one of the worst in the league versus the Saints, a top 11 team in the NFL. Rushes per game, Carolina is 26th in the NFL with 96 flat. Saints at 105.1, which is 19th. It should be a lot higher than that. But our offensive line is up and down. They stink sometimes, man, really bad. They can't even put together a solid game, like consistently, of all of them working together as a unit. There's always somebody false starting. There's always somebody missing blocks. There's always somebody getting beat. Or some bodies, it'll be times when you see 2 guys get beat on the same play. It's just it's disheartening. All right, rush yards per attempt, almost 4 by Carolina, which is for 30th. The Saints, looking at that thing, is 3.7, is 28th. Rush yards per attempt. Carolina and the Saints are actually, Carolina is better than the Saints with rush yards per attempt, despite the fact that they only average 96 yards per game. Damn, that's really interesting, isn't it, family? Rush yards per attempt. Carolina at 3.8, that's 27. They're better than the Saints, 3.7. I mean, how does that even make any sense, man? That's crazy. Passing net yards per game, 171.3, 30th. Saints, 243.3, that's 10th. Sacks allowed, they allow 47 sacks per game, 29th in the NFL. Saints, what is it? They got 220. That's obviously not the case. I think it's like 27. Maybe they got 227 sacks allowed. Man, it's not that. That's an obvious a error. I'm thinking it's more like 27, which is tied for 19th in the NFL. Third down efficiency, Carolina's 35.8. That's 25th versus 97.9. Saints almost 38%. Is 18th. Points per game between both teams here. Carolina averages 16 points a game and 29th in the NFL. The Saints at 21.4 is 19th. Boy, 21 points a game is what the Saints average. It just don't seem like it. Like we averaged 21 points per game for for all of these games. I'm pretty sure they'd had some winning. But that don't factor into turnovers and pick six stuff like that happen with offense gives up turnovers or stuff like that. And turn the ball over definitely has an impact. All right. So anyway, you said 16 points a game. How many family members out there thinks Carolina gets more than 16 points a game tomorrow? Y'all let me know what y'all think will happen. Do you think Carolina gets more than 16 points tomorrow? Saints 21.419. Now let's go defensive, the defensive style of stuff. Total yards allowed per game, 306, which is seventh in the NFL by that defense. Defense is actually pretty decent for them. 322.5, which is for 15th for the Saints there. Rush yards per game allowed 125.2, that's 23. The Saints allow 125.5, that's 24th. Rush yards per attempt, 4.2 is 19th. 4.5 for the Saints is 27th. Passing net yards per game, 180, almost 181 is fourth. 197 is seventh. Sacks allowed. In terms of getting sacks, the defense 19, that's tied for 30. The Saints are also tied for 30 with Carolina in getting sacks, 19, right? Takeaways, 8 takeaways there for 32nd for dead last in the NFL in takeaways. The Saints have 20, which is tied for fifth. Third down efficiency, 35.5. That's top 6 in the NFL. Saints are 36.5. That's eighth. Points allowed per game. Carolina 26.1, which is good for 31st in the NFL versus 21.3, which is 17th in the NFL. So there you go in terms of that. So it'll be interesting to see just what happens in this game as we move forward. But like I said, man, it's just an awful situation. And like I said, we go over the statistical breakdown here just to get an idea on what we think was going to happen with the team. And let's move on to the stat line, rather the depth chart right here between the two teams. And we'll get into the breakdown of the game. Maybe we could just talk about it right now after we get done with it. As you guys can see on screen right now, this is a representation of both depth charts, offensive and defensive, for both teams. Carolina Panthers offense, of course, we know that they're operated by Bryce Young. He'll be there. Running back is Hubbard, a power runner, which is not good for the Saints. The Saints have problems stopping power running backs. Hubbard and Miles Sanders haven't had big years this year, but it's all about your matchups. It really is, like in anything. It's about matchups. Wide receivers are Adam Thielen and Jonathan Mingo. You look at the tight end, we'll see who it is whether it's Hayden Hurst, I think is out. Tommy Trouble might be the guy that they be in there. Wide receivers are Thielen and JJ Chalk there. And of course, you look at the offensive line, Wakakwanu, McQuarrie, Bozeman, Jensen, and Mutan. I don't know if Bozeman plays in the game. I want to say he probably will, but we'll just see. All right, defensively for him, Derek Brown has been, doing some good stuff. Shai Tuttle is over there. Deshaun Williams was on the injury list. I don't know if he plays. Brian Burns, Frankie Louvu is here. You look at the rest of the guys as well as Gregier Hill and Yatir Gross Matos, former Penn State player, is their linebackers. You look at the cornerbacks are J.C. Horn, Dante Jackson. They finally get J.C. Horn back off injury. C.J. Henderson probably going to get now. Troy Hill. And then you look at the safety, Xavier Woods, Von Bell is going to be back in that thing as well. So, they get a lot of guys defensively back for this game, and it kind of helps the defense. The defense is really the power unit of the Carolina Panthers. The offense has really been suffering. It's a lot of pressure, a lot of problems internally inside of the organization. There's a lot of frustration toward the owner of the Carolina Panthers organization and his people that he have there, who he's brought in. It's a lot of dismay, a lot of disarray going on right there of how the team needs to happen. The offense is off, and the philosophy of how they need to use the young quarterback, a lot of confusion. So a lot of stuff that was promising turned into nothing more than just utter disaster for the Carolina Panthers. And it's almost like somebody just detonated something in their building, and they're just dealing with the fallout from it and just trying to regroup and clean up and trying to see if they can win a ball game amongst all of the chaos, which is not a good thing when you have that amount of dysfunction happening in the building. That ultimately is showing you this is definitely a an experiment of sorts where you can watch what happens when you have total dysfunction from the owner down to the head coach, and how it impacts a football team. We seen it firsthand with the Carolina Panthers. The only issue is, can they salvage enough to be able to be competitive in the game against the Saints? And we'll get into it. On the other side of the building, the Saints come in. Derek Carr is going to be the quarterback against me. I didn't really want Derek Carr to be there. I think he should be shut down for multiple weeks. But Dennis Allen's going to run him out there after 2 concussions in 21 days. Is just ridiculous. Rashid Shaheed is not going to be available for this game, but Lynn Bowden will be available along with A.T. Perry. You'll see Keith Kirkwood. Chris Olave is supposed to play in this game along with, you see Taysom Hill. Hopefully they get more stuff going with Jimmy Graham, Juwan Johnson. Hopefully Juwan can step up and do his thing. But he's been off this season because of the quarterback. I got to just say it, man. It's a different world when you got a stable quarterback. Juwan Johnson, this is supposed to be a really good year for him, and he's just not having it. Line is Andrews, Pete, and Hurst. They really not doing that much good on that side. That left side is really just a letdown. McCoy hasn't really been playing as good as I would want him to be. Ruiz is up and down as well. He be missing a lot of blocks. I be watching this film, and he just on pull plays and things that he's supposed to do. He misses blocks. He don't clear guys out. It's like, I want to see like Trevor Penning's mentality. We need that type of mentality right now, because this is not a physical dominating Saints offensive line. They don't have a dominator's mentality. Like, we're going to go out there and physically impose our will on the defensive line. We're going to mash out and block out these guys. We're going to push their asses out of the way. We're going to maul them down. We're going to do this. They don't have that. You don't see a lot of big clear out plays where they're truck size lanes that's open for Elvin Kamara. These lanes open and then they close as fast as they open, and if they would do that, then Elvin Kamara could have a big year. If you just give him a hole to hit, even Jamal Williams, you give Jamal Williams some lanes to run, he could take advantage of that. But they don't do it. They don't open up these lanes enough. And I'm just really disappointed in the Saints offensive line, man, to be honest with you. And Ryan Ramczyk is getting paid too much to look as bad as he would. They got to take some money back from Ram, for real. Yeah, McCoy got paid. Cesar got paid. And listen, all I got to say is, man, I don't like how they playing as a unit. They need more of a dominating mentality. Run blocking requires confidence. Run blocking requires nastiness. You got to be able to have a nasty disposition, not be mean and just full of but you got to have anger and upsetness in your mind and in your heart when you running the ball. It's a dominating thing. Like, we're going to get you up out of here, move you up out of here. We're going to force you out of here. We're going to resituate this offensive line here. We're going to create a whole new line of scrimmage, 3-4 damn yards up the field. And they don't have that mentality. They don't play with that mentality at all. So that's been a big part of the team too. We're not just going to talk about Carr and how he stinks in the play call. And that offensive line, if they were doing their goddamn jobs, that would take pressure off of Carr, and we can run the ball effectively like we were supposed to do when the year started off, right? And then, of course, the Saints defense, Granderson, Saunders, Shepard, Cam Jordan. Cam's banged up. Granderson and Colin Sanders and Shepard and then, of course, we have Malcolm Roach is pretty much on the injury list. He's pretty much done for the year unless the Saints make a playoff run. PJ Mustafir was the guy they brought in. They plucked him off of Sean Payton's practice squad in Denver and brought him here. He's a big physical guy. He's going to play a little bit because Malcolm Roach's role with Malcolm out is now PJ Mustafir. So he'll get an opportunity to play along with those guys. Brian Barisi, Isaiah Foskey, the snowman, is not going to play in this game. So you'll probably see Kyle Phillips, a guy they picked up from the Jets several weeks back. He'll get an opportunity to get in there and make some plays along with Tanu Passanio and the rest. Pete Werner's on the injury list. I don't know if he plays or not. We'll see, because I think it's listed as questionable for Pete Werner, which is a big part. We love like what Nephi Sewell was able to do. He came in there and made some really good plays next to Demario Davis. So I'm really happy to see Nephi Sewell getting there and make plays. But yeah, Pete Werner is questionable with the shoulder and oblique issue. So that's what it is in terms of the defense. And of course, Zach Bowen got a sack last week. We see him play. Monty Rice, who's a veteran linebacker, who's a pretty decent linebacker. And like I said, the Saints might want to hold on to Monty Rice. We should see Monty Rice perhaps get an opportunity to get in there and get some play as well. And of course, Zach Barnes is going to be a part of that. Paulson Adebo is there with our guy Alante Taylor, Isaac Yidam, and those are the nickels. Jordan Howden's in for Marcus May, who's out on the IR. Damn, Marcus May misses a lot of games, man. I'm starting to wonder, like in year 2 with Marcus May, he missed 6 games last year, and he missed 3 or 4 games this year. It's like, I don't know if this is working out for us with this Marcus May thing, man. He misses a lot of time, and that including the suspension time as well, right? So I mean, this guy misses a lot of time. I don't know if this is we're gonna have to reevaluate some of these signings, man, because I don't know if we're getting a good value deal with Marcus May, man. All right, and of course Tyrann Mathieu is there with Jordan Howden back there. So anyway, that's what it looks like for the Saints, the special teamers. For them, Lou Headley and Blake Grupe, and of course Raheem Blackshear and Marset is the punt returner for them. Their kickers are Johnny Hecker, he's the punter, and the kicker is Eddie Pinero. So that's for us to get familiar with these teams. Now listen, in terms of the Saints getting a victory against the Carolina Panthers in the Dome tomorrow, second game of 3 games a stand that they have going into the season. This, by all intents purposes, should be a win for the Saints. The Carolina Panthers team have been struggling all season long. They do have 1 victory. They're from a standpoint 1-10. I want to say they're one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the NFL. And but that really is not something that I'm. Even though the Saints are supposed to come in here and just knock this team around, I'm not going to look at it like that, because I'm gonna be honest with you. This team does present a danger to the Saints. They really do. They present a danger to the black and gold. The Carolina Panthers do. They're 1-11 on the season, right? They're currently on a 5-game losing streak. Saints are on a 3-game losing streak. Saints are tied for second in the NFC South. Atlanta and Tampa hold tiebreakers on the black and gold. They're not eliminated by any sense of the imagination, because they're only not there, what is it? A game or so behind them. Atlanta loses to Tampa Bay. Atlanta goes 6-7. The Saints win. They still would be 3rd place. Nothing would change. Tampa would be 6-7. Saints, Atlanta lose to them. They'll be 6-7. So I don't know. I guess you would say you would want Tampa Bay to win that matchup for Atlanta. We black and gold people. We're gonna want Atlanta to win, right? I mean, Atlanta to lose, and we want Tampa to win by any measurement. If it's Atlanta, unless we really need them to do something for us at the back of the year, we rely on them to get a win. But at all the times, we want Atlanta to lose, right? So they lose to Tampa Bay. They're 6-7. Tampa 6-7. They take possession of the NFC South. The Saints win. They're 6-7, and they'll remain right where they are at the 3rd spot until they get a matchup with Tampa Bay once again later on the year. They got both Tampa. We got Carolina here, and we can sweep them out with a win. And then later on, we got Tampa, and then Atlanta toward the end of the year, which probably, if they can stay relevant, they'll have an opportunity. But this, by all intents purposes, should be a win the Saints get. But there's a but to this. The but is Carolina's quarterback situation. Even though the offense is not doing what it's supposed to do, it's struggling all over the place. If they decide to play, decide to come to play, they have some of the things that could be a problem for the Saints. They have a scrambling quarterback that can move around and extend plays outside of the pocket. The Saints don't have the ability to stop that. The Saints don't consistently get to anybody, regardless of what's going on. Like, we've played offensive lines where the majority of their starters were missing, and the Saints couldn't produce sacks or any valid pressure that would lead to a sack. We were facing unknown offensive linemen that were, linemen that were beat up during the season, and they still couldn't get pressure on the quarterback. Not enough pressure where to make a difference. So they could have some success against the Saints. The Saints have really kind of faltered in stopping the run. We allowing teams to run on us. Like, in the Detroit game, the guys are running the football. Carolina, if they can run the football, they got Hubbard there. He's a big north-south, physical north-south runner. And those type of guys have success running on the Saints. They have success. So maybe they can, if they can get the running game going against our suspect defensive line, interiorly speaking, that's a whole nother thing altogether. And of course, the scrambling quarterback situation, even though he's like, we'll beat the hell out of Carolina. Listen, I'm going to tell you, family members were talking about Jalen Hurts. They were talking about Joshua Dobbs. They were talking about other people during the season and the prior season, scrambling quarterbacks give Saints the fit, especially if they're rookies. Like we had Ryan Pickett, came from behind and beat the Saints. You remember that Pittsburgh game last year was a big stinker. So, I mean, we have issues stopping scrambling quarterbacks, especially ones that can extend plays outside of the pocket. So Carolina has an opportunity there if they're competent enough to take advantage of that. Running of the football and extending the pocket with a mobile quarterback threat to shrink the field down, because I'm pretty sure they're going to implement, if they're smart, they'll implement plays where they scramble Bryce Young out and shrink the field, cut off the field, and give him easy targets to find and build his rhythm. And he'll have opportunity to scramble and slide against the Saints defense because they can't stop that. That's a major point of emphasis. And if they're smart, that's what they're looking at against the Saints. Vice versa, the Saints have to be, and I say stop that. I say that every week, and they haven't been able to. I don't even think they got the personnel. Usually, if you can't stop it, that means you don't have the personnel because they're aware of it. They're aware of it. We've seen and know that they're profusely aware of the fact that they need to stop it. Now, the reason why they don't stop it is it because of defense or just talent? Yeah, I think they just don't have the talent to stop that type of thing. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying in terms of athleticism to be able to stop that from happening. I don't think they have it because they haven't stopped it, and they're aware of it. So Carolina, we ain't gonna sit here and play like Carolina is. We just gonna run over them 56-0 in the dome and just see we back. Man, y'all was talking. Oh no, you supposed to beat Carolina, bro. Carolina is a 1-11 football team. They're struggling offensively speaking. Defensively, the defense will get after Carr. Now, this is the problem. You got a shaky offensive line back there and a quarterback that had two concussions in 21 days. That is a recipe for disaster. Let me tell you. That is a recipe for disaster. When you have a scrambling, you got a shaky offensive line like the Saints have. Andrews Pete gets beat damn near every game, 2 or 3, 4 times a game. Ryan Ramczyk getting beat 2 or 3 times a game. It's confusion in the interior line. You got a quarterback that's coming off of 2 concussions in 21 days. And at Carolina Panthers, they can get after you. That is not going to be a good look for Carr. That's why I said sit him down. And then you talking about all of the mental stuff that he has to process in the game. Remember the plays before. Y'all remind me, the play in the Green Bay game when he got slammed down, didn't he get sacked the play before the slam down play? Y'all remind me, put 1 in the chat if y'all remember that. Because I'm trying to connect the two. Because I know for a fact the last time this concussion that he got in the Detroit game was after a sack. Because he stood in the pocket, he got sacked, and then the next play they came back. And wasn't it the same play? Like it was double sacks. Y'all remind me in the chat if I'm not if that's the case. Because I want to say each time like he gets sacked, and then the next play, that's when he gets hurt. Y'all remind me in the chat. Because that's something that's going to be issue. Because the Saints offensive line stinks, man. It really does. We paid Ruiz, we paid McCoy the year before. Ramczyk is one of the highest paid offensive tackles in the game. He don't play like it. They can't even put him where he belongs. We don't need an expensive right tackle. We really don't, family. We don't need an expensive right tackle to play that side. We pay. The only time you spending that kind of money on a tackle is if he's protecting the quarterback blind side. It's a premium on guys that keep the backside of the quarterback clean. It makes no sense to have Ryan Ramczyk making all that money and he's playing right tackle. We don't need an expensive right tackle. We don't need that. And now you got a concussion-proof prone quarterback out here and an expensive right tackle. What are we doing? We got Andrews flipping Pete on the other side, man. They done shelved Trevor Penn in the first-round draft pick. And I was saying, man, don't put him there. You put that expensive-ass Ryan Ramczyk on the left side. Oh, no, we can't do that because his confidence will fall down and he would not be the same. If that's the case, then we don't need that guy, man. We don't need nobody that can't handle no position shift to the point where they lose it. How are you going to lose his confidence? People was telling me that. Oh, yeah, Q, he can't do that. He'll lose his confidence. And I'm like, bro, the dude played left tackle in college. He played left tackle in college. That's how he got drafted. So he's familiar with the position. And he played some of that stuff in pros too. The only reason he didn't stick because Armstead was over there. And I was telling these people, and I won't let them forget that because I've been saying this. When they started this program of trying to keep Ramczyk on that side, I told them people, this is dumb. This is stupid to pay that man all that money, and he don't even need to be at the right tackle. We don't need an expensive right tackle. Unless your quarterback is a left-handed quarterback, then you can kick. If you got a guy like Michael Vick as your quarterback, and he's a left-handed quarterback, then it makes sense to have an expensive Ryan Ramczyk on the right side. For him to stay at the right side and put a rookie on the blind side of the quarterback, that was dumb as hell. And I was telling people that wouldn't work. And you were like, well, how did you know, Q? I know because it don't make no sense. You're going to put a rookie, a guy that never done it before, to protect the quarterback's blind side, $150 million quarterback, and then leave the expensive guy on the opposite side. He can see on that side. When he turns to throw the ball, he can see that side. He can't see behind him. That's why Rams should be back on that other side. We don't need an expensive right tackle, but they don't listen. And then when it fails, you got a first-round draft pick sitting on the bench. Just sitting on the bench. They benched the dude. Nothing wrong with him. They just benched him. He's sitting on the damn bench. Benched. I'm like, the right play is to put Ram at the left tackle, put Penning at the right tackle. That way the quarterback can see what Penning's doing. He can learn that way. If the quarterback see pressure coming from where Penning is, he can adjust. He can get rid of the ball faster. But we need somebody we can trust that's proven to be on that blind side. I've been saying that, and they refuse to listen. Now it's all chaotic. And why? What happened? We thought it, nah, it's just foolish, bro. It is unfundamental, low IQ football decision-making going on here. I've been saying that for years. And now Penning, a guy they spent the first-round draft pick, is benched. And Ryan Ramczyk, who's expensive, is playing a position on the offensive line at tackle. The quarterback turns to see every time he snaps the ball. My goodness. He can see. I can turn. I'm right-handed. I can turn and look over there. I can't turn. If I'm right-handed, I got a blind side to the left side. Why is he over there? I've been saying this for years, man. These people are hard-headed, and that's why they're about to lose their jobs, because they're stupid. That's not even a genius thing. That's common football knowledge to know to put your best offensive lineman on the blind side. Even though he's not playing like it, he still is getting paid like it. So he needs to go back over there. We don't need two expensive tackles. We don't. We don't need that. All right. So anyway, like I said, man, and the keys to victory, once again, fam, for the mighty Who Dat Nation that get ready to get out of here, is we have to not turn the ball over. This is common stuff, right? Commonsensical stuff. Limit the turnovers. Get turnovers. We got a team that does that. The Carolina Panthers are a team that will give you turnovers. On the defensive side, there's only one side of the team, or if you look at Carolina, that's not performing. That's the offense. The defense is very opportunistic. They'll get after you. They'll sack you. They'll try to stop you from running the ball. They'll put pressure on Carr. They can get turnovers. I think the Saints will give turnovers in this game. I don't think they should, but I think they're going to get after Carr. I think they're going to get after Carr. I think Carr's going to get knocked down several times in this game. It's not a good look what's about to happen to him in this Minnesota game. You got a shaky offensive line there, and a quarterback that was concussed twice over the last 21 days is not a recipe for success for anybody that wanted to see this man healthy. This is a dumb, stupid move by Dennis Allen to run this guy back out here to keep Jameis off the field. It is clear and evident that Jameis should be the choice to go into this game, really for the rest of the season. He's been concussed twice in 21 days. What if he gets his bell rung in this game against Carolina? Then they would have to shut. Then you know what happens? They shut him down for the rest of the year, because now you approaching dangerous territory now. Now he has all type of psychological issues and damage to his head and all this kind of stuff. Go look it up. What can happen to you if you get concussed 3 times within a month or even 2 months? Is not good. So, I mean, he should have been shut down for 2 days or 2 games, at least a month worth of football. I would have shut him down because I don't want to get his bell rung. We might not like how he's playing, but he's still a person. We got to protect him. And you got a dumbass. These people are so foolish, man. And this is going to cost them their jobs. So for us to win, we got to handle a business like that. We got to be able to run the ball. The offensive line's got to step up and do a better job. They got to be able to open up lanes of running. They got to be able to keep Derek Carr clean in the pocket. If they give a damn about him, you better play your best game to keep him upright. And then, of course, like we said, we got so many injuries with Michael Thomas and Rashid Shaheed's not there. Chris Olave's coming off the flu. So we'll see how he does. Jawan Johnson, all this is the chemistry and all this stuff is we'll see how it goes. Like I said, that last game is a bit of an outlier for me. I'm not going to sit up here and say that, what they did against the Detroit Lions is something we turned the corner. It wasn't. They were desperate and had a bunch of urgency, a whole feeling of urgency, a big super amounts of urgency in that game to do what they did. Do they feel that same urgency? Can they come out with that same force in this game? Can they remanufacture that urgency? I don't think they could. They have not been able to manufacture anything consistently that's positive over the last several weeks. It's almost like they have amnesia. Every game they forget to do what works. Every game is something new. It's just crazy. But they can't turn the ball over. You're going to have to run the ball. You got to protect the quarterback. Quarterback got to make the throws. Problem is, Carr sees half the field most of the times. Even if you got 3 wide receivers on one side and 1 wide receiver on the left side, he's going to stare the dude down on the left side. 1 guy on the left side. That's what he does. So, I mean, this is going to be interesting. So the Saints just got to execute and stay and play clean football, and I don't even think they know how to do that. Carolina, the keys to Carolina winning the game is simple. They get pressure on Carr. They're going to get turnovers. They stop the run and put pressure on Carr to beat them. That's what it comes down to. Stopping Taysom, stopping Elvin, and put pressure on Derek Carr to beat him down the field and see if he can do it. And then they're going to watch plays to see if Carr stare guys down, and he does it in the game. 2 or 3 times in the game, he'll stare a guy down. Whether they can take advantage of it, we'll see. He doesn't look over the entire field when he's back there. That's a problem. He don't span and go through his full progression. That's why guys are frustrated, because guys are streaking down the field wide open. He's staring left, staring down somebody to the left. He never sees the guy. That's a problem. He has to stop that. Somebody got to tell him, bro, go through your whole palette, bro. Look everywhere. Look around. And if he's not the team ain't buying him enough time, bro. It's enough time for him to cycle quick and look around or cycle through the progressions to find a player. He knows what a hot right is, or of this play. This guy knows this stuff. So, like I said, man, we're gonna see. But Carolina does have an opportunity in this game to beat the Saints. Number one, they got a scrambling quarterback. If they cut the field off to one side and they extend the play, the Saints suffer with that. We got several injuries to our secondary where they can have some success against the Saints defense. We got a rookie safety in there, and I love Jordan Howland. He's still a rookie, though. We got rookies against rookies. We'll see how it goes. And the Saints have been stinking up and stopping the run lately. We haven't been as dominant as we've been against the run. So Carolina hits us in a position where the Saints defense is vulnerable. Just saying. But all accounts, the Saints should win this game. But we'll see, man. We'll see. All right. So anyway, shout out to the fan. What's up, Bishop? He says, but Q, 10 years in and you still got it. I know, brother. I know, bro. It's ridiculous, man. All this stuff is so ridiculous. I don't know what to say, bro. Yeah, and the thing is, that's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see Carr get hurt, man. That's why I'm imploring these Saints people, please don't play that, man. Don't do that to him, man. He gonna want to play because that's what athletes do. They're gonna want to play. But listen, don't play Derek Carr against the Carolina Panthers tomorrow, man. Don't do it. They're going to play him because they're desperate. They know that if Dennis Allen loses to the Carolina Panthers, that he's going to be fired. He's going to be fired. You can't lose to the worst team record-wise in the NFL and be on a 4-game losing streak. You just lost to the worst team in the NFL. That is all he needs to get up out of here. So he's desperate. And it's cold-blooded because you would rather put your faith in a quarterback that had 2 concussions in 21 days who could be concussed in the game against the Carolina Panthers because the Saints line is shaky, and protecting him. And he doesn't help himself because he holds on to the ball longer than he's supposed to. And like I said, he got hurt in the Detroit game because he got sacked the play before he got hurt. It's the same thing. He gets shook up and he holds on to the ball, gets nervous. The guy sacked him, and then the next play, the guy came in there and blew him the F up. Knocked him out of the game. And we talking about concussions, but he's still dealing with shoulder issues and other stuff too. They said he has some type of back issue. It's not back, it's ribs, dude. I'm telling y'all that. He can't even make the throws, and he pumped up on painkiller. When they span to him in these games, y'all looking, when the cameraman gets right on Derek Carr, a center shot of Derek Carr. Do y'all see that 1,000-mile stare that he having? Is that 1,000-mile stare in his eyes? Put one in the chat if y'all see that when he looking straight and he's nobody around him. He sat down and he ain't looking at no tablet. He just looking straight. Do y'all see that 1,000-mile stare in his eyes? The dude ain't all there, man. That's why I'm imploring the dumb Saints to shut Carr down for the rest of the year and play Jameis. You would rather play a quarterback that is facing that could be, if he gets concussed again, this could be really dangerous to him. And we got a shaky line, and you would do all of that instead of putting Jameis Winston in the game. That is unbelievable to me, that they would risk his health just to not play Jameis. And I'm not saying that's, but even though they don't say that's not IQ, they might say, we know Jameis, we just believe in Carr. No, if he gets concussed again, do you not understand what he's already in trouble right now? They telling you some BS. Carr is in trouble right now. Carolina can get after you. They offensively they struggle, but nothing wrong with that defense. And they getting a lot of their special teamers back, like Chin and Vaughn and J.C. Horn and C.J. Henderson. These guys help the defense, and that's their best unit. They can get after you with Burns and all those guys. They can get after you. So if Burns shoots in there and Burns gonna get a sack, what if Burns get in there and knock him on his ass and concuss him again? Then what we do? This is dangerous, man. Carr should be shut down. He should be shut down for the rest of the season. We don't need him putting his health, his mental health in jeopardy so the Saints can win a football game, and we got a more than competent quarterback that can step in there for him. This is crazy. This is crazy going on here. This is crazy and insane, and these bastards think this is normal. It's time for change to happen there. It's time for change to happen in that building, man, for them to be taking these drastic, irresponsible moves with this man's mental health like this. This is terrible, man. It's awful. Man, awful, man. Terrible, man. They would risk his mental health for this crap, man. Crazy. Brother Prime says Lomas is raking a page out of the Maka playbook. Thank you, Prime. Appreciate it.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
All right, thank you, Prime. Rain 1134 says the most dangerous enemy is the one with nothing to lose. Exactly. Rain, listen, I want to give you a shout out, fam. Thank you.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
And because I'm gonna tell you something, fam, man, and like you was talking about when you concussed yourself, man, appreciate you dropping some science on there, man. The Saints, this is desperate. Let me say this again. There's only for them, Carr should be shut down, and I'm telling them, Carr does not need to play in this game because the Saints' offensive line is shaky. Carolina can get after you. Now we know we look at their sacks and all that, but Brian Burns could definitely beat an Andrews Pete. You know they're gonna line Burns up over there on top of Pete, and he coming around there and he's gonna knock Carr upside his head. Unless the Saints decide to leave some fullbacks, what they have been using a lot more to help block them. So I just think it's just the wrong decision to do. We need to just shelve that guy, shut him down for the rest of the year, and go with Jameis. Shelve him, because nothing good can come of him getting concussed again. That will put his career in jeopardy. To have that many concussions in the span of a month, or even if it's in 2 months, that's still very harmful. They don't give a damn about none of this guy's health. He thinking they looking after him, and all these doctors, they need to be ashamed of themselves, man, for clearing this man to play. And one more concussion, that could be very detrimental. For that alone, I would tell them to shut him down. That's just cold-blooded to me. If you're looking at all this BS about player safety, all this trash and garbage about player safety, and look what these people are doing before our very eyes. They're offering this guy up here with that shaky-ass offensive line, and his decision-making is already impaired. He's not getting rid of the ball fast enough, and he's shot up with painkiller. He's already out of his mind. Come on, people, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? This is wrong, man. And, like I said, as a person, I don't got a problem with Carr. I kind of copy his mannerisms in terms of how he talk and all that. But when it comes down to it, I don't want to see nobody get hurt, man. Especially somebody that got children. This man got a family. And now he getting concussed like that, getting knocked on his ass. A lot of it's the Saints offensive line. A lot of it's his fault for not getting rid of the ball soon enough and getting out of harm's way. Because if you get rid of the ball, most of the time they'll kind of veer off of you. You got to get rid of the ball to avoid the hit. And like I said, if he gets hit a lot in this game, this could be detrimental to him. And I really don't want to see that dude get this. Shut him down, let Jameis play. But to keep him in there and like, it just shows you how low of opinion that they have for Jameis Winston. For real. It really is, man. You would rather play a concussed player like this than to get ready to play Jameis Winston. And that's just awful to me that they would do that. Put a concussed dude. This dude was twice concussed in 21 days over a fully healthy Jameis Winston. That is absolutely insane to me. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Thank you, Thomas. Says Q, you saw that article that Mickey is in charge of the Benson estate if Benson isn't able to make decisions. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You mean to tell me she put Mickey freaking Loomis over her estate? Maybe he can do that, but the guy can't. Listen, man, people ask me about, they say, Q, does this diminish Mickey Loomis's resume or whatever? All this kind of stuff. Mickey Loomis helped the Saints win a championship, but he won't be a part of helping the Saints win another one. The game done passed this man by. Let him be the executive vice president of football operator, whatever the hell you want to call the damn thing. I think it's a load of crock anyway. But if he's a vice president or whatever it is, or relations or whatever the case may be, he needs to do that job and do that job alone. But the general manager of the team, he needs to relinquish that title and give it to Kai Hartley at the end of this season. He needs to give that job up. He needs to give it over to somebody who has the vision to take the team into the future. And Kai is a young dude. Let him pick his own quarterback. Let him do his own thing. Don't sit your old ass up there and hold them two positions and you're not doing anything with the general manager position. You ain't generally managing anything. You're not generally managing Dennis Allen, not going in there telling him to change some stuff up. You leave a man alone if he winning. But if he losing, you're supposed to be in there checking him, telling him, hey, I want you to do this. I need you to do that. You're supposed to know enough about what he does so you can correct him if he's wrong. And obviously he's wrong because he's losing. So what are you doing? Get up in there but he won't. He won't. He gonna take this stubborn thing and tell me and you that you negative, that it's negative noise and it's irresponsible and unsophisticated and lazy journalism to report on matters of what's going on in the team. So if you don't buy his antiquated dinosaur-ass version of what's going on with the Saints, you're considered negative, even though they're the producers of the negativity. And I'm reacting to the BS that they're giving me. Yeah, it's crazy, man. But yeah, bro, that's insane to me. Maybe he could do that, but he damn sure can't do no managing or no team, man. So it's just horrible, man. But I'm against Derek Carr playing in this game because this is a recipe for disaster. Because bear in mind, the Carolina Panthers are going to get to Carr one way or the other. And when they get there, what's going to happen? What's going to happen, man? This is a recipe. And these people, it's more evidence against them in the Saint Court of public approval that these people are desperate idiots. They don't know what they're doing. They refuse to change. They keep doing things that don't make any sense. Keeping Ram at right tackle is dumb as hell. And Andrews Pete over there it's a revolving door on the Pete side on the blind side of the quarterback. He can't see back there. You're supposed to put Ram over there. That's stupid. Playing card with all these concussions over Jameis, that's stupid. When he should be shut down for at least 2 weeks. I would shut him down for a month. I would shut him down for a month and let Jameis go in there and take a crack at it. Why not? The decisions is unbelievable that the Saints have. They're a complete idiot team to me right now, especially at the general manager level, the head coach. It's just ridiculous, man. These people don't know what to win is if it bit them on their ass. They don't know what a win is if they just bit them on their ass. They don't know. And then any good talent that we have playing in these certain circumstances will be dirtied up by it. No matter how successful you was in previous stops, if the head coach of the team don't know what he's doing, and there's a lack of confidence in the building, and Mike Hoss, you can spin it any kind of way you want and sit up here and pretend like what the reporters and the people like myself are saying is not true and that is ridiculous. You can spin it like it's a conspiracy theory all you want. But people not buying into what you saying. They lambasting your ass. They lambasting anybody that can't see it. And the Who That Nation is on code. That's why you're seeing a reduction in ticket prices. That's why you're seeing, a reduction in people going to the games. That's why you see them. It's only going to get worse. But remember, when it's all said and done, we warned you before we came for you. We warned you all and told you, implored you to make the decisions. And now we got it going on. So shout out to all the Who That Nation family members out there that's on code, that's not buying the BS, that's not going to the games, that's not buying the merch, that's not doing none of that. Shout out to you guys, man, because you guys are the difference makers, man. It's all about you guys making a difference. It's all about you guys. But like I said, I'm gonna pop back up here tomorrow. Shout out to Brent. Hold on, I got a couple of cash apps that I got to send out to Brent. Shout out to you, brother Brent, man. Thank you for the cash apps. Brent says, he says, like what was surprised with the win at the airport, the boo leader. Yeah, the boo leader. And he says, but let's get short-term plan for the long game. Indeed, bro. We need to figure this out. And I don't think we're going to figure this out until we find out what we need to do. Of course, we need to fire Dennis Allen. He's not the guy, but there needs to be several moves made to kind of instill the future of the team. Like Mickey Loomis needs to resign from the general manager position, and Kai Hartley needs to be promoted to that area. That's number one. And that's part of the plan. Like at the end of the year, I got like a little plan thing I'm going to break down and says, and this is a lot of stuff I was thinking about, which will help improve the organization. So we're gonna talk about that a little later on because it ain't the time right now. But yeah, we got a lot going on here. So anyway, that was Coffee with Q. Listen, fam, I appreciate all of y'all, man. Thank y'all. All of them. Shout out to you, Uncle Paulie. Uncle Paulie says, yes, Q, the whole organization seems to need to check up from the neck up. Indeed, it's time for, and when you start seeing people, the team not making any money, they're not supporting the team, it's a reason for all of this. And they can sit up here and pretend like it's your fault for not coming to the games because you're being negative. That won't work when they check in the balance books. Money talk, BS walks. Why aren't the people showing up to the game? Well, they're just being negative. I don't know why. No, look at your standing record. Look into the fact that you're not listening to the people telling you just make a few changes. They wouldn't even do that. Dennis Allen is making no changes schematically. He keeps everything the same and does it all the same thing every week. What kind of dude is that? A real head coach will be looking for answers, really looking and not saying that he's looking. And talking about changes and doing changes as opposed to telling you we need to change and don't do no changes. Just do the same thing every week. Just change the verbiage on it. 1 week is we got to clean it up. People start making fun of him on that. He heard that, start saying we got to chop wood now. Now it's all about chopping wood now. So it's just foolishness. But anyway, y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show with your social media feeds. Shout out to you. What's up, Cam Legit? Shout out to you. Thank you, bro. Appreciate y'all for y'all support, man. Thank you, Rock. I represent the mighty Who That Nation, bro. I'm a ride or die Who That man from the cradle to the grave, baby. I bleed black and gold deep down in the bone gristle, baby. So when I see all this happening, man, it insults me and infuriates me, man. That's what the passion I come from. But I'm also a realist. I'm going to tell you the truth, even if it's against my club or against my organization. A lot of people are not going to do that. And the Saints had these weird little things going on with the people that got up there with the sex abuse stuff that happened. I was lambasting the Saints for that. I got on them for that. Because if you're going to represent us, you're going to represent us right. And that won't, because I like you as a football team, will not stop me from telling the truth. It shouldn't. All right, fam, but I'm going to get out on that. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Tonight, we're going to probably do something with Ring Kings boxing tonight, man. And got Regis Prograde taking on Devin Haney. That's going to be a phenomenal matchup. Regis from New Orleans. So, I'm asking the family members to support brother Regis. He got a really big fight on his hands, man. It's been some spicy talk between him and Devin. They fighting tonight out in San Francisco. So that's a matchup that we're going to look at tonight as well. So y'all be looking out for Ring Kings boxing, man. We'll be doing a little boxing talk. I've been kind of up and down on my boxing coverage because it's been kind of busy with me, my Saints coverage and everything. So got other stuff cooking too. But anyway, with that being said, I'm going to get out on that. Y'all check out the merch, man. We're going to have deals for the holiday season for all merch, man. We're talking 35, 40% off on the merch. The No Excuses shirts are available. The Fire Dennis Allen shirts are available for our Pelican people. We got the Herb Jones, Not on Herb, Defensive Player of the Year jerseys, shirts, merch that's available. We got the Grand Theft Alvarado stuff that's available. We got King Room, Zion, Mount Zion. All this stuff is going on at the merch shop. And you can get 35-40% off on hats and jackets and pullovers, all kind of stuff, man, for the holiday season. And this is really a big thing. So help out the platform, man, by becoming a member at Patreon or becoming a member of our YouTube channel, man, where we do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So y'all check us out, man. But with that being said, much love to the fam, man. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about we'll do the 11:45 thing with the pregame for the Saints and the Panthers matchup. And we'll do the play-by-play and make it all a big thing like we do every damn week. So I'm going to get out on that. Y'all have a fantastic rest of your day, man. I love y'all. Keep y'all heads up. Much love. Who dat?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who dat. I'm a who dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a who dat. Lose or winning, I'm a who dat. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who dat. I'm a who dat. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Buggy like this and I'm a who dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a who dat. Lose or winning, I'm a who dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who Dat and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform